Well, you can't say I didn't tell you because I told you so. And anybody who was doubting it before, well, once again, you were wrong. As necessary, I got to give you a call back on this. I want to remind you of what I said a little while ago here before we get into tonight's program. I just want to give you a very brief reminder about something that I said here. I've said it several times, actually. Probably the biggest time was in July of last year. Does anybody remember this? Rihanna broke up with Chris Brown. What's been happening ever since? She kissing on girls and every damn thing else. Ain't gonna be another Chris Brown. Ain't gonna be another Ashton Kutcher. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't have Ashton in the first place. He just wanted to see what it was like to ride them Caribbean draws. He wasn't promising you nothing. The train left the station with Chris. The train left the station with him. I'm going to say something y'all ain't going to damn well like. She should have took his ass to go get some counseling and stayed where she was. Baby, that was the last train leaving. You're just the one who didn't recognize it. You didn't realize he was the last one leaving. Because it's going to take a certain type of man to put up with Riri's ass. Baby, this is the last train leaving. From here on in, it is loneliness and destitution. And the occasional Negro flopping on top of you. Go ahead and do that. But everybody knows every time a female has sex, it does something to her psyche, something not good. Women are not psychologically equipped to be cycled through. Women are psychologically equipped to cling and hold on because women require stability. Women are more fragile. When something is fragile, fragility and an unstable environment do not go together well. When you are fragile, an unstable environment is deadly to you. You need stability. It's not something you want, it is something that you need. And the reason why we have so many... July of last year. Well, as some of you fellas may have heard here, and ladies, of course, well, it didn't take very damn long for that. After all this time, I guess she figured she was going to catch the last train leaving. And the last train leaving apparently was this degenerate ASAP Rocky. This illustrates a few things, and I want you to understand the power dynamics of it. This illustrates a few things. It illustrates what happens when a woman gives up on herself. When she realizes that the best she could do isn't really available, then she just when she can't get what she wants, she grabs what she can get. And that's what you're seeing here. There's no way to clean it up. There's no way to sit up here and massage it. There's no way to turn this into something honorable. This was an L. But it was an L for one simple reason. Whether you want to believe it or not, Rihanna, this is the best you can do. Truth be told, this is the best that you can do. You really can't do any better than this. No, don't let any brain dead fanboys or fangirls out there try to tell you that it's something different. This is the best she could do. 33 years old and it is over. It's already over. You're not wife material. No one ever thought you were. So now she's just like, well, screw it. Let me see if I can become mama material. And as a result, she took a bad situation and just rammed it straight into the ground. I guess when you turn self-destructive, it just doesn't matter anymore. The other news here is that Drake unfollowed her right after she announced she was pregnant because men have to make decisions about what kind of woman this is. Now, I am not here to defend the track record of Drake. We already know about his little European porn star and whatnot. We already know about that, but let's be very, very clear. I want to put something in perspective for you. If there's anybody out there right now who's going to try to make the ridiculous argument, because some of you are going to try because you're that desperate, You're gonna make the ridiculous argument, well, Rihanna, she doing good here. I mean, she could have been with Drake or Chris Brown. The Sisterhood of Failure is gonna try this. You can sit up here and try to turn this into a win. This is a straight up loss. It's a straight up loss, and it proves that this is the best she can do. And what is the best that she could do? What is the best that Rihanna could do? Well, let me tell you something. You might have seen a lot of things from Chris Brown and Drake. You might have seen them do a whole bunch of stuff out there, but I ain't never seen Chris Brown and Drake looking like this. I've seen a lot of pictures of them. I've heard a lot of stories. I ain't seen or heard anything like this. Now, I know a bunch of you fellas out there are real upset right now. I know y'all are. She's been your girl crush for a while, and I get it. I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, Rihanna's so fine. I understand that. I know some of y'all are mad as hell right now. Your internet bae messed around and got pregnant by this dude. And let's be very, very clear. I don't care how much some internet personalities think they gonna make purses on men popular. A purse on a man ain't never gonna come into style, Mr. Samuels. So this is the best that Rihanna could do. This is it. This is all she could bring home, because she doesn't qualify for anything else. So tonight's program is about accepting the brutal reality that many times, ladies, when the train has left the station, this is going to be the best you can do. Of all the men on planet Earth, in Rihanna's DMs and everything else, she chose the one she felt would stay. She chose the most weak, the most limp, the most moist, the most easily pushed around, and most easily dominated. And let's be very, very clear. When you take a look at body language, you can see the body language here. In all the pictures that Rihanna took with ASAP Rocky, and you can go Google them, she put them online, she's giving him the Ciara treatment. She's giving him the Ciara treatment. Dude, she don't fool with you like that. She knows that you're a L. She knows that you're a loss. She knows that you're a downgrade. There's a reason for that. You're a downgrade. And when you see things like this is publicly letting you know, we downgrading the image. Just remember something. When Ciara got proposed to by Russell Wilson, everybody saw that as Ciara, at least from where she was. Well, at least she leveled up. Now, he's a fool, but at least she leveled up. Nobody saw this as a level up. There's nobody saying that Rihanna has leveled up. You know why? Because ASAP Rocky's net worth is worth less than the two dudes she was with previously. You don't call this a trend, you call this a pattern. Of all the men that she's been with, the guy who was able to get her pregnant was the one who was worth the least. He was worth the least. And he's the one whose image is questionable the most. This is the best alpha that Rihanna could relate to and could pull. This was all she could get. Hold this L. Hold this L, baby. She'd have been better off getting with one of her fans. She really would have been better off getting with... I want to ask you all a question. Do you question that there is probably a fan, one of her fans in her DMs, that would have been a better choice or at least a better look than this? Is there any question that there was some fan in her DMs that would have been a better look than this? Ladies, the whole reason why I set this up so we can discuss power dynamics is so that you don't miss the last train leaving, so that you don't end up having to downgrade, so that you don't end up having to look like this. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to sit up here and try to explain away this garbage. You don't have to explain away this nonsense. That is a defeated woman. That's a defeated woman. She's just done said, screw it. Whatever happens next, happens next. That's a defeated woman. That's defeat. That is the look of defeat. That is the look of I'm beat. And she's far from alone. She is far from alone. Make sure y'all like this program tonight and definitely make sure you share this, but especially go ahead and hit my likes for me here. They're trying to keep my likes down. This is important because we're discussing tonight about what happens when you don't want to accept that he's the best you can do. Ladies, if you play the field too long, it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. If you play the field too damn long, you're going to wake up one morning and realize that the guy that you're with is the best you can do. That's it. This is all you're going to get. If you make the wrong choice, if you negotiate the deal incorrectly, this is where you get stuck, you get downgraded, and from there, he's the best you can do. And it doesn't matter your level of celebrity. It doesn't matter your level of income. Your income is irrelevant. It doesn't matter your level of notoriety. It doesn't matter your level of social status. When the clock runs out, the clock runs out. You know why? It is because the men are the ones who are going to set your value. You can't force a man to want to take you to be your protector and provider. You can't force him to do that. If you are a disciplinary problem, if you are not up to code, if you have a track record of being difficult, if you are a female who makes the wrong choice, you'll end up with, at best, you'll end up with some dude who's questionable. At worst, you're going to end up with Pookie. Or if you're Kim Kardashian, you end up with white Pookie. This is a hell of a way to fall from Kanye West buying her 5 Maybach GLS 600s to white Pookie driving her Rolls Royce to the store. No, this story doesn't end well if you make the wrong decisions. It doesn't end well at all. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't end well at all. You'll find yourself out here hoping and wishing that things could be different. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but once it starts going downhill, it doesn't get any better. The next guy you get with, if possible, that's the best you can do. He is the best you can do. He is the best you can have. The biggest lie that's being promoted and promulgated out there right now is that women have an eternal amount of time. The men will be there when you want them to be there. That the men who are producers, let's be very, very clear, that the men who are producers, they are high status, they're high earning, they're high intellect, that they'll just be around till you decide you want to get around to it. Ladies, you are going to sit up here and mess around and age out. You're going to age out. You're going to strike out. If you're a disciplinary problem, you don't get 5 and 6 shots at it. You get 1, 2 if you are absolutely hella fortunate. After that, it's over. And then the dude you're with is the best you can do. And let's be very, very clear. Right now, the bar ain't looking very high to clear now, is it? Because remember, every man that Rihanna's going to try to get with after this is going to be on a lower level from ASAP. Now, before you even try it, let me go ahead and address this before some of the desperate dead-enders attempt to save this. Well, Jason. Yes, ma'am.
Now, let me talk. See, you's just a hater. You are denying true love. Rihanna can level up.
This isn't a level up. This guy's broker than the 2 guys she was with before and damn sure way broker than her.
Let me talk.
Eventually, she's gonna marry ASAP. People, let me tell you something. The only thing that could make this situation worse for Rihanna is if she marries ASAP Rocky. That is the only thing that could make this situation worse for her. Not for anybody else. But that's the only thing that could make this situation worse for her. He's gonna get alimony, palimony, the whole damn 9 yards. You all are gonna see Riri have to go to court and pay this little limp nigga. That's what you're gonna wind up having to do. Can you imagine what the wedding album is gonna look like? Can you imagine what the wedding album will look like? They're gonna have matching purses. Or at least he's gonna try to spend more on his purse than she's gonna spend on hers. Can you imagine that? They're both going to be at Hermes trying to outdo each other. Can you imagine what the bridesmaids are going to be wearing? Much less the groomsmen. The bridesmaids will be wearing Timberlands. The groomsmen are going to be wearing leather skirts. But just understand, the only thing that can make this situation worse for her is if she gets married. You know why? Because a woman can't respect a man who she doesn't see as her social and economic leader. She doesn't. She doesn't. Well, Jason, let me talk. Let me talk. Chris Brown is worth less than Rihanna. Technically, I guess Drake would be too. By the way, that's all very much contrived, by the way. That's all very much contrived because if you all think that Rihanna started or owns Fenty, I don't know what the hell to tell you. If you can't tell that this woman knows nothing about makeup whatsoever, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. If you don't understand that that's part of a 360 deal, then all right, go with God. I don't know what to tell you at that point. I don't have anything else to say if you really do believe that. But in any case, Chris Brown had a higher social status than Rihanna. Chris wasn't broke, he wasn't toe down like that, but he had a higher social status than she did. So that's what Chris Brown had. Drake certainly had a higher social status than Rihanna. Rihanna didn't get on until Fenty finally broke out, but that's it. That's it. So from here on in, no, the fella that she's with now, ladies, if you do have to make a choice, you got to understand it's do or die. It's do or die. You can't play around about it. This is why getting pregnant early is such a stupid decision. I'm talking about you getting pregnant unmarried. You're unmarried. The worst thing a female can do is get pregnant unmarried early because you are locked in with that dude. That dude is going to be the standard by which all subsequent men are going to judge themselves, including the fellas that you know who already got kids by other women. Let me correct a fallacy of the female psyche. You're telling yourself, well, if I got kids and he got kids, then we're both going to be on a level playing field. Nope, it don't work that way. He's going to take a look at the dude you got pregnant by. I don't care if he's got 6 kids of his own already. If you're expecting that man to become your protector and provider, he's going to take a look at the quality of men who were able to go all the way with you. And when he takes a look and realizes that the fellas that you allowed to crawl into bed with you were of a much lower status than himself, you just set the bar for what he has to do. There's no way in the world that anybody is going to try to outbid ASAP Rocky now. Nobody's going to do that. It doesn't work that way. Nobody is going to outbid him. They're not. Any more than anybody is going to try to outbid Pete Davidson running around in Kim Kardashian's car. Now that if Pete Davidson can take you to bid, although that's it, the price has officially been lowered from Kanye to Pete Davidson. That's the way it works, ladies. When you let a fella sit up here and get you pregnant, it better be the right choice, because you might not be married to the man, but you will be married to the decision. You will be married to the decision. Now, some dudes thought that Rihanna was really, really cute like that. Okay, I understand. I get it. Some folks thought she was really, really cute like that. I've never really been much of a Rihanna fan in that regard. I get it. She's not ugly, but she was just never really my cup of tea. I understand it. Rihanna was never a 10. I know. There's some oddball ass niggas who think that Beyonce is a 8, Nicki Minaj is a 9, even if she says she's a 7, and Rihanna is a 10? Okay. I mean, with that mastermind forehead, okay, all right. Hey, look, go listen to just anybody you want to. Rihanna was never really that striking to me in that regard, but let me tell you right now, she looks equally ugly to all men. Let's be very clear. She looks equally unattractive to all men now. All the men see her as equally unattractive now. You know why? Because you're asking all of them to follow up behind this. That's the problem. Ladies, you are asking all these. Rihanna is going to ask any men from here on out to sit up here and follow up behind this. A sucks Rocky. Now I want to bring this home for you. I want to bring this on home for you. In the 21st century, fantasy and make-believe are at epic levels right now. I gotta tell you, fantasy and make-believe are at absolutely epic levels. It's out of control. So many people, and I want to talk to the ladies specifically tonight, so many ladies are sitting around with a phone in their hands. They're sitting around staring at things. They're sitting around watching their Instagram. They're sitting around doing that, and you got to understand, that's not real. It's not real. A bunch of you struck out in your early 20s. Right now, fellas don't even really want to deal with females over the age of 30 because they struck out by then. At least Rihanna made it to 33. A lot of you were down and out and finished way before now and told yourselves that you were going to get another try. This is why it's so important to recognize where you are, to accept where you are quickly. Figure out where you're at quickly, accept where you are quickly, and start cutting deals quickly. Staying out on the playing field isn't just a bad idea for a female. Staying out on the playing field is a death sentence. Staying out here in the playing field is a death sentence. I told you in the video that I was talking about here before about Rihanna, this isn't a sexual marketplace anymore. It's a wasteland. It's a wasteland. Yes, I'm going to say it again. You all tell me, I said it then, and did it not come out exactly the way I said it would be? I told Rihanna, you should have stuck with Chris. If Drake was willing to take you in, you should have stuck with Drake. You ain't got no problem kissing on girls. You shouldn't have a problem with his porn star baby mama neither. Because that's the best you could. If these two guys were offering you something, you need to take the deal from one of them. One of these guys needs to get the phone call from you to take the deal. Otherwise, you are just suicidal. Otherwise, you're suicidal. If Drake or Chris Brown was making her an offer, she should have taken the deal. Because we see what happened when she attempted to go back into the sexual marketplace on her own. This is the guy she was able to pull on her own. This is it. This is after Drake, after Chris Brown, after Ashton Kutcher, after all these other men. She couldn't pull nothing better. No, the time to be cutting the deal was back when Chris Brown and Drake were on your phone. That was the time to be cutting the deal. Chris moved on to Carucci. Drake moved on to the rest of the world. And Rihanna went back and she was like, hey, where's a multi-millionaire? Where's a mogul? Where's a billionaire? Where's somebody who can elevate my status? They're not available. They're not available. You're going to have to understand when you have run headfirst into him being the best you can do. And that's where the world is today. Ladies, take a look at the guy you're with tonight, or if you're by yourself. Let me give you a good gauge. If you are a female who is alone tonight, and by the way, I know we're coming up on Valentine's Day. A lot of y'all are going to be spending it as Galentine's Day. And if you haven't checked out my previous broadcast from last year, Galentine's Day, wait until you see this year's. I know my copycats are lighting up their incense and taking notes on tonight's program already. Wait till you see Galentine's Day this year. I got a few updates for you. We're going to update some things. Ladies, I'm trying to tell you that the stakes are too high. The situation is too damn dangerous. A lot of y'all, your coping mechanisms are going to just hold you out there. They're just going to hold you out there in this holding pattern circling the airport until you finally run out of fuel. And you'll never be happy with what you bring home. You're not going to be happy. Let's be very, very clear, folks. A$AP Rocky didn't choose Rihanna. Rihanna chose A$AP. Ain't even going to do the mic drop. Now, before now, the men chose her. Well, that's always a good sign when the men come to you. When the men are approaching you, then that means the men they like what they see, they like what they hear, and they come approaching with resources. Rihanna chose A$AP. She was like, all right, come here, little old screwball ass nigga, let's go. And this was it. No woman can respect a man that she had to grab by the wrist and pull him. No woman respects a man who is basically her man pet, her man baby. No woman respects that. No woman respects a man who she basically sees as a child. Oh, you're easily dominated, which means that you'll get her pregnant without a bunch of trouble. So you'll give her the facsimile of it. But let's be very, very clear. Nobody saw this as a level up. There's nobody listening to me right now or since who saw this as a level up. Nobody was sitting there talking about, ooh, that's good. I wish I had A$AP. None of her peers in the industry wanted this buffoon. None of them wanted him. There wasn't any competition to get him. But Jason, wasn't he running around with the Kardashians or something? Yeah, he's the only one they didn't want to keep. Isn't that amazing? How in the hell is it that you get to associate with the Kardashians? They'll take any Negro who walks through the door, except him. Yeah, you know why? Because they didn't want to have to compete. They didn't want to have a fight in the shoe section. They didn't want to be accused of taking or scratching or damaging one of his purses. That's the reason why. She got a damn cast off. And this is the best you could do. Hold this L. Now, there's a bunch of fellas out there who probably were thinking to themselves before now, you know what, man, damn, I know a lot of you are very much offended because you had a higher opinion of Rihanna than this. Now, I never did. But a bunch of you, if you want to know why Drake is disgusted, is because, damn, baby, you was rolling with me at one point, weren't you? You were rolling with real players. Your status got elevated. You were rolling with some real G's before now. You were rolling with solid players before now. And we thought the game had rubbed off on you. I mean, if you go make that move and get pregnant, shouldn't you get pregnant by another player? Shouldn't you get pregnant by somebody who's actually in the game? Somebody who's actually got points scored? Somebody who's actually on the rise? If you're gonna make that move, and it's stupid, by the way, it's a stupid move to make, but if you are gonna make that move, how in the hell is it you gonna make that move with a fella who's this far beneath us? There's a lot of fellas listening to me right now. Ladies, listen to what the men are telling you right now. You don't respect what she's doing by becoming a bastard baby maker, but even worse than that, she didn't even get pregnant by a nigga that is on the level of where she was. Men can't respect this type of lapse of judgment. Men cannot respect that. Men cannot respect a female who is willing to accept less than where she was. We can't accept that. We can't respect that. You know why? Because ASAP ain't the kind of dude that real players would be fooling with. He's not. He's the kind of guy, I mean, go ahead and take a look at his discography. He's the kind of guy who hangs out with females. He's the kind of guy, and I don't mean females in some romantic way. He's the kind of guy who hangs out with females because he's too damn soft to be hanging out with men. And this was what you chose to get pregnant by. At least Chris Brown is pretending to be a blood. At least Chris Brown is pretending to be a gangster. At least he's trying to do some facsimile of alpha manhood. He's trying. So you got Chris who's trying. Drake, go listen to Back to Back. He pretending. And this is what she brought home. After she was with people far more capable. She showed she doesn't have respect for it. She doesn't have any appreciation for it. None at all. None at all. So you tell me how any man after this is going to break his back trying to do better now. Tell me how in the world that's going to work. Who's going to do that? In the chat room, somebody talking about, I'm hating. What's there to hate on? No, leave them in the chat room there. When I open up the phone lines, go ahead and keep their information. When I open up the phone lines, they can call in. What is there to hate on? How is this hating? Who am I hating on? You think I'm jealous? And this is how dumb some of you folks are. You think I'm jealous of ASAP Rocky's over the shoulder? You think I'm jealous? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm a hater? Jason, you just don't like his lambskin purse. Really? You think I'm hating on his purses? You think I'm hating on his bag? You think I'm hating on his pocketbook? You think that's... Do you realize how stupid and silly you have to be to say that that's the best you can do? You just hating on his purse. You's a hater. What the hell is there to hate on? Tell me what part of ASAP Rocky I'm hating. What is there for any man, any heterosexual man, to hate on? I don't want to compete with that. You're not going to see me in the Karl Lagerfeld area of Neiman Marcus sitting up here trying to pick out the right handbag. You're not going to see me at the Gucci store? Not in the purses section, you damn sure ain't. What the hell? Some of you people are just... I understand. It's just silliness. You can't take it. You can't stand it. You're hearing a lie about your life. So you're just saying irrational stuff because you're just insane with the anger over it. You're just crazy. You're just saying anything. You a hater. What am I hating on? Need to be hating on that choice of color. Need to be hating on that choice of material. You need to be hating on that. You need to be hating on seeing a fella sitting up here looking like this. Looking like one of the rejected members from the Village People. You need to be hating on that, okay? Don't come in here talking silly to me. You need to be hating on this. Whole bunch of women listen to me right now, and I know that was probably one of the very angry ones there. Ladies, I'm here to help. How many of you woke up one day, rolled over, took a look at that loser next to you, and realized, I'll be damned, this is the best you can do? Or you rolled over in bed, and there was nothing. And you realized, this is the best I can do. How many of you woke up one day and found that out? Pretty damning. A woman starts blowing out kids by degenerates and rejects when she realizes there's no man who wants to claim her. Let's just keep it all the way real. A woman takes the risk of having bastard babies when she realizes and accepts that there is no man who is going to take her. That's what they do. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. You are welcome. And for a female to sit up here and to have seemingly as much pull as Rihanna, what does that tell you has been happening in Rihanna's personal life? Want to ask y'all a question. What do you think happened the last time that Rihanna tried to contact Chris Brown? Or because they were talking after the incident. We all know that. We all know they were talking after the incident. What happened after that? What happened the last time Rihanna talked to Drake? Did they make it clear that they were open to maybe having a slot for her? Or did they make it clear that, we'll think it over? What I'm telling you is that she most likely got in touch with them, and the responses and the answers that she heard, it didn't turn out very well. And there are a bunch of females listening to me tonight gonna find out the hard damn way. Or already have. You waited too long. You played too much. The options are gone. That dude you looking at here, the fella you dealing with, that's the best you can do. Let me explain something to you about your life in this world as a woman. Let me explain something to you, ladies. Your job is to make sure that you leave the casino with as big a bag of winnings as you can. That's your job. If you want to know what your purpose is as a woman, bottom line is the single most important, the single most critical and crucial decision that you will make in your life is the quality and caliber of the man that you are able to get to commit to you, that you are able to get to commit to being your workhorse. There isn't anything more important. There isn't anything more prescient. Young females, you know when you're dealing with a female who is outrageously fatally immature because she talks about something else. You talk to your older female counterparts, and by that I'm talking about over the age of 30, unless they are dealing with insane immaturity issues. They will sit up here and let you know, man, a Negro holding my hand, that's nice and cute. I wish I could get that. I wish a dozen roses, a bouquet, 5%. Boy, I wish I could get Mr. Romantic. Okay. But the fact that the overwhelming majority of divorces are filed because of finances, what the hell does that tell you about Mr. Dandy Pants, bouquet of roses, and incense and paisley pants? What does that tell you about how much females value that? Yeah, they tell you one thing. They tell you one thing. Don't listen to what they say. Listen to what they do. There's not a man listening to me right now who didn't find wasn't in a situation with a female who yanked the cord on you because she thought she had a better socioeconomic option. There's not a one of you. So let's just keep it real and stop pretending. This is the part that's insane. You can't actually get any winnings out of the casino if you refuse to be honest about what it is that you came to wager on. Ladies, what it is you came to wager on was you came to wager on a man who is going to be able to upgrade you, a man who is going to be able to give you consistent, reliable, ongoing, tangible benefits. That's what you are wagering on. That's it. That's it. You're out of your damn mind if you're discussing anything else. If you are a woman in your 20s, let me tell you, I know the older females got y'all screwed up in the game and got you all talking all kinds of crazy. You look silly as hell talking about that. You are looking to get the biggest bag of winnings that you can. Take a look at how hard your competition in their 30s. If you're a female in your 20s, take a look at how hard the competition in your 30s and 40s and 50s are fighting to get those guys based solely upon their ability to provide tangible benefits. Think about that for a few moments. Based solely on that and nothing else. Take a look at the other females who are older than you in their 30s and 40s and 50s. They're not talking about Mr. Romantic. They're not talking about Mr. Swag. They're not talking about that. When they have their options, when they actually have the option of getting what they want, the only thing that comes up is what is his level to be able to protect, provide, and upgrade me. And that's it. That's it. You better check with the females in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Your competition is telling you it's all about love. When they walk up on us, they like, nigga, where the dollars? If I'm gonna make you the last guy I'm with, I need to know that I'm cashing out with the most winnings. I gotta know that. And you know what? That's the intelligent thing to do. That is the intelligent thing to do. The intelligent thing to do is to grab the producer. The intelligent thing to do is to grab the fella who's going to be the workhorse. That's the intelligent thing to do. Because if you don't, if you just stick around and hang around out here, if you just keep playing the field, eventually you're going to run out of options. You're going to time out. You're going to age out. You're going to strike out. You've had too many opportunities to be the producer and you screw them all up. You're going to age out, in which case it doesn't matter how ready you are. This is what you're going to get. And let's be very, very clear. A female can pretend for a little while. T.I. said it best. You can't be fake that long. She can pretend for a little bit. She can pretend for a little bit, but eventually the real thing is going to come out. She can pretend that this substandard male that she accepted. Look, when a woman's losing, she knows when she's losing. A woman knows when she can't do no better. When dudes are talking about, I can take it or leave it. When if she was in her 20s, dudes are like, hey, I got to have it. Got to have it. Then she wakes up one day and realizes dudes are like, I'll take it or leave it. A woman knows when she's losing. She knows when she grabbed you because you were the best she could do. She knows that. She knows when she got to choose you because you're not really trying to choose her. I'm trying to give a warning to the ladies tonight. If you're choosing the guy, if you're out here actively having to look for the guy, you are in outrageous amounts of trouble. Outrageous amounts. That's the thing I want you to understand. You're in outrageous amounts of trouble. This is an outrageously bad thing because a female cannot respect a man who is not doing better than her. A female can't respect that. A female, no matter how much she pretends, she is never going to respect a man who she sees as her inferior. She's never going to respect a man who she knows is of lesser value, that she had to take what she can get. She can't respect that. She can't. So she'll pretend with him as much as she can, but the real thing is eventually going to come out. She's going to take one of these evenings, she's going to be sitting at home, she's going to turn on the TV or something, and they're going to be talking about her exes. They're going to be talking about her exes. And then she's going to take a look over, she's going to look out the corner of her eyes. She's sitting on the couch with ASAP, looking at a TV article or watching the internet story about her exes, and she's going to look out the corner of her eye over to her left, and she's going to see ASAP over there, doing his nails. She's going to see ASAP over there, seeing if he can schedule a pedicure. She's going to see ASAP over there, putting leather conditioner on his purses. She's going to see ASAP over there and be like, I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I could have stayed where the hell I was. You know why? Because a woman can't respect a man who doesn't raise her value. You tell me, how many people are going to see her walking through the mall with ASAP Rocky? How many females are there out there? Show of hands. Fellas, stand down. To the females listening, to the women listening tonight. How many women listening to me? ASAP Rocky is the ideal type of man you would want to be with. If you could choose a man that you wanted to be with, why, it would be in the mold of ASAP Rocky. Show of hands. I want you to put up the hands up emoji or the thumbs up emoji to the females listening to me right now. If ASAP Rocky is the type of man that you wish you could be with, he's the type of man that you would take, go ahead and throw your hands up. Go ahead and put up a thumbs up. And by the way, if you're just tuning into the program here, YouTube is trying to keep my views and my likes down. Go ahead and hit my likes for me. You know we're telling the truth about this. And make sure you share the program. They're trying to bury this. They're trying to bury it because right now it's all about promoting moist niggas. Over here in the real adult world, we don't do that. We don't do that. So go ahead and hit my likes for me. Well, so far, I don't see any women. I'm trying to see where the women putting their thumbs up. Where are the women who are like, Jason, if Rihanna hadn't taken him, I would have. I see a guy in here who put a thumbs up. Okay, he must want to wear one of A$AP Rocky's purses. I guess this Negro wants to wear one of A$AP Rocky's purses. Okay, I think I found one who says ASAP is the kind of guy she would want to have. I want my mods to go ahead and put her information to the side. We're going to have her call up here in a few minutes so she can explain to all of us explaining to all of us in a language that maybe one of us can understand. This is the kind of guy she wants to be with. This is the kind of guy she wants to be with. Okay, she would compete for that. All right. She would be happy to be seen in public with this dude. She'd be happy to be seen in public with it. Some of y'all's upbringings got me puzzled. How many folk were you like? How many folk did you grow up with like that? Some of y'all's upbringings have got me puzzled. Got me puzzled. Let me tell you about something here. Some of y'all in there talking about he got money. You're absolutely right. But let's be clear. Let's be very clear. The money is useless if the man attached to the money makes you a damn laughingstock. That's why females divorce dudes. They grab the money and then they run because it's like, hey, this ain't working. Let's be very, very clear. Women don't want part of it. Women want it all. They want it all. Biggest lie in the world is when a woman tells you she doesn't want it all. Damn lie. That is a damn lie. Every female wants it all. She wants the man. She wants the look. She wants the money. She wants the status. She wants the notoriety. She wants it all. She wants it all. And there's nobody who's sitting up here saying to themselves, damn, he's the one who got away. At least with Russell Wilson and Ciara, at least there were some people who could say that. At least there were some people who could say that Russell Wilson, well, he was a good guy and he got away. At least you could say that about Russell. At least you could. There's nobody saying that about this guy. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is typical today. Most of the women listening to me right now, most of you listening, this is where your life is. Can we just be honest? You're not happy. You're not okay. It ain't right. It's kids, it's houseplants, it's pets, it's reruns of the Golden Girls, and now your life is becoming a sitcom. How the hell did this happen? How did this become you? How did this become you? You sit here and you take a look over there and you tell yourself that dude who's working at Target, I can do better. No, I mean, if you're carrying a couple of kids, if you're built like a sack of potatoes, actually that guy is probably the best you can do. How many ladies are listening to me right now, and on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a solid 5 or less, and you're telling yourself that the guy you're with isn't the best you can do? Yeah, he is. He really is. And the sooner you accept that, the better you'll be. Now, let me go ahead and give you the inverse. There's a lot of you females listening to me right now. You are with a fella who is producing, but you're telling yourself the most dangerous lie of all. Well, you know, maybe I can get a little bit better though. And we need to have some definitive conversations about when you don't have any leverage. Get up and leave the damn casino. Get up and get out. Recognize when you are winning. Now, I want to deal with a couple of things right quick, because this is something else that we need to discuss here. Let me tell you, everything's got a price. Ladies, freedom has a price. Status has a price. Coming up got a price. You're not going to get this for free. It is not going to come for free. If you're going to be with a rock solid dude who is going to produce and continue producing at a high level, the first reality you're going to have to accept is this is going to cost you. You're not going to get this handed to you at no cost. Let me just say this in clearer terms for you. This is gonna hurt. Somebody needs to tell you the damn truth. No pain, no gain. Michelle A is, 50 now? However the hell old she is, Michelle A is out here still talking about Dre. You know why? Because that was the best she could do. That was the best she could do. And she thought she had a better option back then. She thought she had a better option back then. So she was waiting and waiting and waiting. And she said, let me go ahead and jump around. Baby, you should have stayed where the hell you were. Everybody and their mama could have seen. Stick with Dre. He's the guy who's going to keep producing. Suge Knight, flip him and leave him. And now you're stuck out here at the age of 50, still talking about Dre trying to eat off his name because you don't have any other options. I don't give a damn what was happening in her relationship. The fact that she's still talking about Dre today lets you, okay, let me try this a different way. Let me go ahead and try this a different way. Because hindsight tends to be 2020. Let me go ahead and try this a different way because somebody might try to argue with this. And I'm ready for it. Somebody might try to argue with this. Let me go ahead and put this in proper perspective for you all. If you all think that Dre was bad, if you all think that Dre was terrible, if you all think that Dre mistreated women, blah, 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 let me ask you a question. Is there anybody who doubts that if Michelle A. could get with Dre's freshly divorced self tonight, that she would not run all of you over in her 1986 Datsun pickup truck to be able to get to him? Is there a single person who thinks it wouldn't happen? Now that she doesn't have the option, do you think there's a single person, is there a single person in here who would stand in front of that truck and be like, nope, she would not. She is not going to do that. I watched her special on Lifetime. I believed every word of it. Oh no, we're going to give it the rundown. We're going to give it the rundown. Let's be very, very clear. A woman, once she runs out of options, a woman never forgets the best she was with. She never forgets that. You can be hard-headed and obstinate at the beginning, but when life steps in and starts grinding your ass into the concrete, she understands, I'll be damned, that was the best I could do, and she's gonna want that. Because by definition, now that she's experienced it, she has to compare every man that she was with to that. But to anybody who wants to sit up here and try to kick dirt on Dre's name, let's be very clear. Is there any female out there that Dre has ever been in the same room with, who, if they had the opportunity to get with him now, they wouldn't run every single one of us over in a D9 Caterpillar to be able to get to him? A single one. Now that they've aged out the game, now that they're no longer eligible. So even Michelle A., if you want to sit up here and try to talk trash about Dre, all right, I'll let you have that. But by the way, Michelle A. doesn't agree with you. Michelle A. would have sat up here and carjacked Nicole Young if she knew where the woman lived. If that hurts your feelings, so damn well be it. If that hurts your feelings. But by the way, while you sitting up here talking about what the women think of Dre, there isn't a single one. I don't know. Maybe you should ask D Barnes too. There's not a single one that would not do it. There's not a single one. Hell, you won't even see this nigga anymore. Do you think Dre even got the time to be home anymore? How many times do you think you'll actually have to even see him? This fella just wants peace and quiet. He don't want to hear nothing else. Let him have his little fun with April Jones, and you don't even have to see him. And let me tell you, at this point in her life, Michelle A. and all the rest of them, yeah, if there's anybody in here who doesn't think that you wouldn't catch a baseball bat to the back of the head, if you think any of that, you will catch they would hit you with a baseball bat in the back of the head if Michelle A. had the opportunity, if she actually had the option of getting with Dre. How about Foxy Brown with Jay-Z? Oh, hell. Yeah, y'all don't really want me to go down all the names. You don't really want me to do that. Do you really want me to sit here and run down all the names? Because it's true. As much trash as Foxy Brown want to talk, if she could get with Jay-Z today, she'd be doing it. She would be doing it right now. Vivica Fox and 50 Cent. Vivica Fox, 50 Cent's name stays in her mouth. It stays on her mind. You know why? Because she told herself she was going to do better. She told herself that she was so great and so wonderful that she could do better. A decade or so later, how's that working out? And it stings every time it's brought up. It stings. But you know what? To the women listening to me tonight, you might not be a celebrity, but it stings you too. When your family sits there and you bring home some dude and it's like, okay, he ain't as fly as the fella who had you driving the G-Wagon. He's not as fly as the fella who had you in the S-Class. He's not as fly as that guy. And you know that's what they're thinking. Everybody can take a look at what you did. And it's like, okay, and even if they couldn't do better themselves, they're taking a look at what you did. You got your downgrade. No woman feels good about that. No woman gets up in the morning and is hopping out of bed about that. No woman's pleased about that. A downgrade is the single most devastating, damaging, destructive thing you can do to a woman. You know why? Because women's psyche runs on status. That is why when women want to attack each other, they go after name calling, they go after status. When they want to sit up here and go after men, they go after status. They try to tear down your name, even if they have to lie about you. Even if they gotta lie about you. But they never forget the man who could elevate their status, which is why I tell all the fellas here tonight, you could detox from the red pill, get over here and open up the black book. You could detox from the red pill because the red pill is being brought to you by a bunch of guys who don't know anything about power dynamics, and what you are missing is power in your interpersonal relationships. Let me tell you, when you can upgrade a woman's status, your breakups, when or if they happen, they're going to be a whole lot different. They're going to go a whole lot differently because it will be very clear which one of you is in the more valuable position. And when it's very clear that you're in the more powerful position, you're in the more desirable position, you're going to feel differently about it. Even if she decides to sit up here and take her head off and leave, you're going to be like, where the hell you going? You know, once upon a time, I was filming in D.C. I was filming in D.C. I was at went to a 5-star hotel. You all know which one. And I had gotten there, and the valets, very nice group of young fellas out there and everything. But boy, I'm hopping out the valet, and in D.C., the valet tells me it's $40 a night to valet the car. Nobody has said anything about that before I got there, but it's like, okay, not even just valet, but just parking the car at the hotel's parking was $40 a night. And this was years ago. I'm sitting there like, boy, look here. If I had known that, I would have parked the car myself somewhere else. This little fella here, I must have been about 6 or 7 inches taller than him. This little fella looks up at me and he says, but Mr. Black, the nearest parking garage is 4 blocks away. Where were you going to go? After that, all I could do was hand him my damn key fob. That was all I could do. Where are you gonna go? Who are you bluffing? Who you fooling? What do you think you're gonna do? What leverage do you think you have while the clock is ticking? Ladies, your coping mechanisms are going to leave you out here treading water until you realize there is no island to swim to. Where are you gonna go? Because you're gonna have to get your status upgraded at some point. You're gonna have to do that because women, the reason why we created the term debutante syndrome is because women never let go of that. Women never let go of that idea. They have to have that. Without their status being upgraded, that's it. They want their children to look up to them. They want their parents to look up to them. They want their girlfriends to look up to them. And I won't just say they want it, they need it. They gotta have that. So they're gonna sit up here and try to bluff their way through it, but at the end of the day, they gotta have that. They got to have that. They got to. They will never let that go. And the only way that a woman can get over her ex, if he was a producer, if he's a guy sitting up here and he's got high status and everything, the only way she can get over him is if she can get a guy who is doing better than that fella. That's the only way it can happen. You tell me, where's the upgrade here? You tell me. Compared to where she was, You tell me where this falls. No disrespect, Darlene Ortiz has spent the last at least the last 25 years talking nothing but straight cash trash about Ice-T. This woman's 50-something years old now? And every conversation you have with her mentions Ice-T. Every conversation, decades later. And she will look you square in the eye and tell you, I'm over him. I don't have anything but good feelings about him. She'll look you square in the eye and tell you that. She will look you dead in your eyes and tell you, oh, no, I'm okay with that. No problem at all. I'm perfectly all right with it. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. It doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about it at all. Yeah, how's that working out? How's that working out? Decades later. She's had a bunch of boyfriends, but you know that she don't really talk about them. She doesn't really talk about them. She's so proud of them that she doesn't really even mention them. She's so proud of them that she doesn't talk about them on a regular basis. She's so proud of them that she doesn't invoke her memories with them. You know why? Because she knows that the whole world knows that he was the best she could do. And now, the fellas who float through, whether they are employed or not, well, at this point, that's the best she can do. The train really does leave the station, ladies. You can have your parents, you can have therapists, you can have coworkers, you can have teachers. Everybody telling you all this other stuff is straight bullcrap. The train leaves the station. And one day you're going to look up and realize, it's going to dawn on you. It's like you were telling yourself, there's a slippery slope that you get into. What you'll do is you'll grab some dude and be like, okay, this is just a sex buddy. We just going to lay up for a little bit. And I just need to get my itches scratched. And when I'm done with him, I will re-enter the sexual marketplace on some serious stuff and then go get me something better. It doesn't work that way. You're going to be with that dude and then you're going to dabble in the marketplace and realize, you can't really do any better. And then next thing you know, you're spending more and more time with this fella while you're quote unquote waiting for the next big thing to come along. The next big thing never does come along. It never comes along. Ladies, if you are with a fella, if you have let a fella take consistent company with you for more than 90 days, that's your man. Truth be told, that number is really closer to 30, but I'll go ahead and spot you 90. If you've been keeping company with the same guy, even if it's on the phone, if you've been keeping company with the same guy for 90 days, that's your man. Whether you realize it or not, that's your dude. Because if you could do better than that, that's a quarter of a damn year. That's a quarter of a year. What the hell are you going to do? What are you doing giving up a quarter of a year? You can't afford to sacrifice like that. You can't afford to give things up like that. That's a quarter of a year. You can't afford to do that. That's not an option. Time is your adversary when you're a woman. That's why it's so damn important. You got to leave the casino with your winnings as quickly as possible. Time is your enemy. And people telling you that you can just hang out and hang around and don't worry. Let me just be very, very clear about this. Rihanna will never recover from this. She'll never recover. I hope whatever she got from ASAP, I hope whatever she thought she was going to get, I hope however much fun it was, I hope she enjoyed that because she will never recover from this. She is never going to recover from what she just did. This was a permanent decision. She's sitting up here talking about, well, I want to have kids now. No, you don't. You want to have kids, the husband, the house, the life. There's no woman on this earth who wants to be a single mom. Every single mother I have ever met or talked to broke down in tears. Every single one. They tell the world they love it, it's great, it's awesome. As soon as they get with a man by himself, they break down in tears every single time. This isn't what she wanted. But she looked over at the other end of the couch. There was no Chris Brown. There was no Drake. There was no Ashton Kutcher. She going on 40 damn years old. She looked at Kim K. She looked at Lala Anthony. She looked at the rest of them and said, damn. She looked to see if there was anybody above her status, who was willing to offer something that resembled a commitment, and it wasn't there. How many of the women listening to me right now tonight, you got your degree, you've got your little old job, you don't have a career, you got a little old job, or maybe you do have a career, maybe you do. Maybe you're an attorney, a paralegal, nurse practitioner, administrator at a college or university. Maybe you're a newscaster at one of these local TV stations, or a broadcaster at one of these radio stations. Maybe that's you. How many of you are listening to me right now and you're taking a look at the man you're with and you're telling yourself, I'll be damned, I'm better off than he is. You tried to tell yourself you'll be happy. It doesn't work. I got bad news for you. You're carrying 2 or 3 bastards in tow. If you are with a man tonight, capital I, capital F, if you are with a man tonight, ladies, that's the best you can do. I know you're not happy with him. You're feeling some kind of way. It ain't great. That's the best you can do. He is the best you can do. I know you're telling yourself he's not. I'm telling you he is. You're telling yourself, oh, don't worry, I'm just laying up with him for now. No, you're laying up with him for good. If you do leave, it's not going to be anything better. But to the women listening right now, Rihanna's a cautionary tale for you, because most of you don't even have the pull that she does. And take a look at her. All she could get was ASAP Rocky. A bunch of y'all are sitting up here grabbing a guy who works at, you got to get a guy who works at Quick Trip. You might want to stick with him. That fella who's pushing the forklift at Home Depot, you might want to holler at him. You might want to talk to him. That guy who's changing the oil at Valvoline, you might want to get his number. At least you know he knows how to work on cars. At least you know he knows how to work on cars. I suggest you get his card. You might want to get his number. You might want to get his number, ladies. If you're over the age of 30 and you're listening to me right now and you're single, if you got kids, you might want to get that dude's number. Ladies, if you have had more than 10 boyfriends in your life, you need to get the number of the next guy you're with, and you better figure out a way to make that work. You're just spinning your wheels. He's the best you can do. What I'm saying is, stop kidding yourselves. Stop kidding yourselves. All you're really doing is hurting yourself and wasting a whole bunch of time, money, your youth, every damn thing else. Who you fooling? Who are you kidding? This is the breath of life you got here. There's a bunch of females listening to me right now here. I'm going to be just totally honest with you. The females in Atlanta, you got female attorneys in Atlanta having dates with their clients. I know I'm not supposed to say this. You got to get it how you live. You know why? Because even though they live in Atlanta and they might be sitting up here telling everybody, oh, they're perfectly fine living in a rainbow city. I'll be damned. A woman does not feel in any way like she's been upgraded with the fellow who is with her. It knows everything about the satin and silk at Bloomingdale's that she does. She doesn't like that. She gets tired of that. She wants to have a man who makes her feel like a woman. A man doesn't make her feel like a woman if he's competing with her on the womanhood tip. It doesn't work. But for a lot of the ladies listening to me right now, yeah, he's the best you can do. So you might be an attorney, but guess what? Your student loan debt, your bad attitude, your belligerent behavior. No, that fella who works at the bank teller down there, yeah, that's your dude. That's him. You better take him. That's your dude. I know this didn't work out the way you told yourself it would. It didn't work out the way you told yourself it would. You were telling yourself that it was going to go differently. You told yourself that, well, don't worry, when I get ready to go because I'm so special and I'm so wonderful, there's going to be a guy waiting out there who's going to be ready to go ahead and take care of that for me, because the fantasy that you have in your head is that when you get ready to go, there's going to be a guy who can finance that life for you, because that is validation to a female. A woman having to go get it herself is the sign that you have lost. You want to know why it is that Rihanna's in the fix she's in now? Because she understood if she did have to get with a guy, she knows she's in the fix now, because it's like, okay, she had to go get it for herself. Getting it for yourself is the confirmation that the game is over and you have lost. You can't bluff your way through this, ladies. That's why your degree and your job don't matter, because if you got to go dig it out the mud and pull it out the soil, what the hell good was it? That's not a plus for you. That's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of defeat. You got women all over Atlanta, all over DC, all over Dallas, all over New York, all over Detroit, sitting up here bragging about how they got to go out there and go get it. That's not a bragging situation. That's sad. That's just sad. What you're telling the world is, I couldn't really get anybody to do that for me. As a woman, you're not validated. That's it. You're not validated. So that guy who works for the Department of Sanitation, yes, I said it. I damn well said it. And maximum respect to my brothers out there, by the way. Maximum respect to them. I want the fellas to know, hey, she better say yes. She better go ahead and say yes. She might want to say no. Ladies, you might tell yourself, well, I'm a paralegal. I've got my psychology credentials. I've got my degree. I've got my position in human resources. I work at the college. I work at the university. I'm the manager at this executive hotel. I've got such and such a job working for the airlines. Well, you can say those words. You can say those words, but you can't make them of any value. At the end of the day, you are going to get the man that you can get. It's going to be that simple. You're going to get the man that you can get. And if you're going to find out whether or not you wasted your time. You're going to find out if you wasted your time. And this is a hell of a way to find out that you wasted it. Waking up one day and realize, now be damned, the time is wasted. Going back out there and trying to figure out, well, hell, what the hell am I going to do here? What am I going to do? If nobody told you, ladies, if you take a look here, just understand, if you screw off all your time, if you mess up, if you don't play your cards right, if you tell yourself that your mental and emotional problems are going to get the better of you, if you tell yourself you've got an endless amount of time, if you tell yourself Jesus will provide, if you tell yourself that I can wait, if you tell yourself I can do bad by myself, you're going to die by yourself. And let's be very, very clear. When Kid and Heels says it, It doesn't mean what it means over here. You want to know what hell is? Hell is repetition. Hell is going in the same place over and over again. Hell is knowing that tomorrow will be no different and no better than it is today. Hell is realizing that you were in a better place and you'll never be able to return. Hell is realizing that you didn't have the character to recognize what was best for you when you actually had the opportunity to get it. And hell is not being willing to accept that it can get worse. A lot of you are defeated, you are beaten, and at this point in your lives, you're just making survival sex decisions, but you're not actually coming up. And it's a sad commentary. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't the best you can do. Maybe you can do better. So, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, MGTOW, high-value posers, frauds, and others stole and ripped off all their swag from. As you heard here tonight, this is what makes us different. If you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, do that now. Stay up to date. YouTube keeps unsubscribing people from the channel, but if you want to see what makes us different and better, you heard it here. Click that red subscribe button and that yellow notification bell. Stay up to date about it. We're giving you real talk here tonight. The phone lines are now open here, and we're discussing He's the Best You Can Do. And Rihanna has just shown the world what happens to the modern black female. They've shown what's happening to you today. You're not able to get away from it. Everybody is catching the same blows and everybody is catching the same fade. There's nothing you can do now. If you screw off the time, if you waste your opportunities, if you don't make the most of it, if you don't actually grab that producer and hold on, if you're not willing to pay the price, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be hell. And it already is. It's already hell right now. Nothing you can do about that. To the young women listening to me, if you are still in your early 20s, y'all better stay the hell away from these old females. You better stay away from them. They don't know. They don't have a clue. They don't have any clue whatsoever what needs to be done. Most of them are trying to give you bad advice because they don't want you as their competition. Most of them. They're just telling y'all anything. You actually have the option of doing better. They're trying to knock off their competition. Any of you young females who've been in the dance club and you see them older hoes come up in there, she 30, 35, 40 or older, you know damn well they're up to no good. You think their cutthroat behavior stops there? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Let's go ahead and take a few phone calls here. And by the way, if you've been instructed to call in, you must call in. That was not a request. Caller from area code 323, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Andrea from Los Angeles.
Andrea from Los Angeles, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just think that you're giving horrible advice tonight. Why would you say that Rihanna needs to stay with Chris Brown? He beat her ass. That's pretty dangerous.
Okay. Was that your only... Let me find out first of all, before I say anything else. Is that your only comment?
No, my boyfriend told me to call because he's always telling me to call you.
Oh,
he likes you.
Your boyfriend told you to call.
Yeah, because he wants you to knock some sense into me. He's been telling me to call you for months.
Okay. Well, let me find out here. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I do.
How old?
I have a 16-year-old.
Okay. You're 33 years old with a 16-year-old.
Yep.
Okay. How long you been with your boyfriend?
almost 10 years.
Okay. So in other words, that child is not by him.
No.
Okay. Let me explain to you a couple of things about the facts of life, young lady. You are 33 years old. And I'm sure at 33, you kind of tell yourself you got it all. But then again, you had a child when you were, what, 16?
Oh, shoot. No, I'm not. Did I say 33? Sorry, I was distracted. I'm 37, actually, tomorrow.
Okay, you had a child when you were 21.
I was 20. I got
Okay.
pregnant at 19.
Okay, you got pregnant at 19, gave birth at 20. By the way, were you married at 19? Were you married ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
So,
married.
You were married when? Before or after the child was born?
Oh, before before he was born, the baby daddy wanted to get married.
Right. And you got married, correct?
Yep.
Okay,
Got
so
married for 5 years.
You
and
married?
Then,
Okay,
he left.
So now you married your child's father, and then 5 years later, did you get divorced?
Yeah, not my choice. He actually left me. In his words, he said that even though I'm good looking, I'm boring.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that didn't come out of nowhere. So very clearly his character must have clearly shown that was the type of guy he was.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all
Okay,
good.
whoa. Slow down.
You
Slow
know,
down. Whoa. Wait a minute. Slow down. You can't just blow past that with a, yeah, but no. That's a major thing. What I'm saying is you knew what he was when you met him. And you were attracted.
Yeah.
You were attracted to that.
Oh, yeah.
You liked it.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is I lost my virginity to him.
Okay.
And I live
Right, but you
up
chose
north where
you chose him. You were not a child. You were
I
fully
did.
aware and cognizant of what you were doing. You were young, but you were not an infant. So the reason why I'm bringing this up to you, and this is a very important point that I want you to understand here, okay? Very important point I want you to understand. And what I'm going to say tonight is going to be very controversial to some people, but welcome to the adult world. You sound like a handful. And if I talk to your boyfriend, I'm pretty sure he's going to tell me the same thing. Because if you're, I can already tell that you're a handful. Okay? I can already tell that. In today's world, they've kind of tried to bully men into claiming things that we know are not true. They try to bully us into that. So you have a bunch of females saying a bunch of things, not because it's true, but because they think it gives them power over men. And one of those was about that abuse thing. And everything's abuse. And if you listen to females who push that line, you would think that men were the primary purveyors of violence. Then when I ask you about, by the way, who is responsible for the most of the abuse and murder of children? Yikes. The overwhelming majority, practically all, are female. Now, the child didn't choose to be there. You choose a relationship with a man. The child didn't choose to be there. So this idea that the women of today, with world star hip hop being what it is, this idea that the women of today are just these wilting violets, that's what they tell you. And that's not an honest way of dealing with life, because as men, we see it every damn day. Evelyn Lozado was the most violent psychopath on television.
Yeah,
She assaulted everything moving. Okay, and then had the nerve to talk about Chad Ochocinco did something to her? Why, if you listen to her, you would have thought it was Mother Teresa. And what I'm saying is, as a female, you know that that's a game that gets played. Not because it's real, but because it gives power. But you know that. Now, as far as Rihanna is concerned, let's be very, very clear. None of us were there. We don't know what happened in that car. We don't know specifically what happened. I will tell you one thing. If anybody is going to try to convince me or any sensible person that Riri is just this cute, innocent little Polly purebred, get the hell out of here. Did you see what was the first video that she released after that? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
You all can check me on this. If my memory serves me correctly, the first music video that she released after that, because it wasn't very long, I want to say the first music video that she released after that was B Better Have My Money. And she's walking around with a damn bass. I want to say she was, if my memory serves me correctly. Now, if I'm in error about that, somebody can check me on that. If I'm in error about it. Be that as it may, here's the killing part about it. Even if I'm not correct about the chronology of that, think about that for a few moments. Even if she did that video before the incident, even if she made that song and made the video before the incident, think about that for a few moments. Think about that for a few moments. That's what was sitting in the car with Chris. That was what was sitting in the car with Chris. These females are out here, they shake their asses to the most ruthless gangster rappers in the world and then tell y'all that they're a bunch of nuns. In the chat room, I forget what was that Man Down? Okay. If it was Man Down, that's what I am not at all. Let me be very, very clear. Anybody trying to check me on that, you can go to hell. I am never going to claim to be a scholar of Rihanna's discography. But I remember a video being released. It was a violent video. It was like, specifically, she was assaulting men. She threw somebody in the trunk of a car. And so if you're talking about it might have been Man Down, but it was a video right after that happened. She's running around with a baseball bat. She's doing a bunch of violent stuff. She throws somebody in the trunk of a damn car. And I'm like, okay, that's what was in the car with Chris. That was what was in the car with Chris. That's what was in the car with him. Mary J. Blige, that's what was married to old boy. Faith Evans, that's what was married to Stevie J. That's what we're actually dealing with. That's the real damn world. And let's be very, very clear, ma'am. There isn't a single man here tonight, myself included, who has not had hands put on them by a female. Not a single one. Not a single one. And dudes love to talk about how they like crazy chicks. Well, yeah, it's usually fun and games until she's either chasing you with a butcher knife or chasing you in a car. One or the other. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh hell, she's like, I could seriously do harm to you. And yeah, I'll just tell the police you did something to me and they'll cover for me. Let's be very, very clear. You know that's the way females think now. In today's world, that's the mentality. I can do whatever I want to a man, to children, to other women. As long as I tell them I'm a female, nothing's going to happen to me. I mean, you talk about white privilege. Let's talk about female privilege. They will sit up here and tell you, I can do whatever I want. Nobody's going to do anything to me. Yeah, I can have as many bastard kids as I want to. The state's going to have my back. I can get food stamps. I can get welfare. I can get housing. Yeah, I get all kinds of privileges because I'm a female. That feeds into the female psyche. But you know this already. So let's be very, very clear. I have never said that Chris Brown was an angel. No, I've never said that. Nor would I ever say that. What I will tell you is birds of a damn feather flock together. And as much as you want to point the finger at Chris, that's the man she chose. Just like your baby daddy / husband, that was the man you chose. And there must have been something about the two of you that was very compatible because y'all had a kid together. Of all the men you could have chosen to allow to deposit his genetic material, you chose that guy. You rejected the others and said, come here. Yeah, you're the one I want. So we would be deceiving ourselves if we told ourselves it doesn't tell us a lot about you. Well, it tells us about Rihanna also. Now, here's a case in point. Another thing is Chris was a young man. And young men, especially from the environment he was from and whatnot, in the society, they make mistakes. They do things they should not do. Let's just go ahead with the argument that you made. They do things they should not do. Ma'am, I'm sitting up here watching black women sitting up here aborting children, beating kids, Cardi B is drugging people.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying a damn thing about Cardi B drugging a bunch of people. Bill Cosby damn near went to prison for the rest of his life. While y'all are dead silent about Cardi B and all the others. So this selective outrage where the only time things are criminal is if a man does it, the women can be out here like mad damn me Max raising havoc and nobody's saying anything. So those are legit. That's okay. Ma'am, this is screwed up and schizophrenic. Now, what I suspect. Now, the other thing I want to say though is that to what your statement about that, I want to deal with that specifically. My statement before was that Rihanna should have took Chris to get some counseling. Do you think that's an incorrect statement?
If she wanted to be with him, then yeah, they should definitely have gone to counseling.
Okay, but here's the real problem, ma'am. If she wanted to be with him, she already wanted to be with him. You see, the problem I have with the world today is that everybody wants to make requirements of men, no matter how outrageous. And the women want to say there's no requirements of us. Even if we make a deal, we want to be let out of the deal. When you go down the aisle, ma'am, that man asks you before you went there, you two are going to be together in sickness or in health, for better or worse, till death do you part. Mm-hmm. He didn't say you two are together unless somebody's unhappy. What God has joined, may no man put asunder. No man includes the two of you. And yet nobody takes that seriously. Then you wonder why the prisons are full, the ghettos expand, poverty rises. You wonder why it is because you don't take your vows seriously. So that doesn't mean that I expect him to sit up here and wild out like that. No, I don't expect that. But I also expect adults to be adults. And let me be very, very clear here. You're 33 years old. Baby, this ain't new. This is not new. This is old. This is the way it's always been. These folks are trying to make you think that this is the first pandemic that's ever hit the world. This is the first bad relationship. This is not new. This is the way it's always been. Males and females have always had tempestuous relationships. Males and females have always had situations that needed to get worked out. In the old days, Rihanna would have called her brothers or her nephews and something would have happened to Chris and he would be a model citizen from that day forward. But your grandparents don't tell you that version of the events. Your parents don't tell you. Your mama didn't tell you about the time she got into a damn fight at the club over your dad. She doesn't tell you about that. And if you or any of your siblings are illegitimate, your mama was fighting somebody over it. I promise you, she's just selectively leaving that tail out. You need to be honest about it. I was doing a program here a few days ago where they're talking about all these girls today, and you know how the old folk like to tell y'all about how y'all girls are thotty and this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, the Temptations were singing My Girl. They weren't singing Baby Let Me Lick Your Body. They were singing My Girl. And your grandmama was throwing draws on the stage. The Temptations will tell you they were singing My Girl and females were throwing their underwear on the stage. My Girl. The 1960s. When there was no explicit music anywhere. It wasn't even legal to do it. And your grandmama heard My Girl and said, let me get these draws off quickly. For My Girl. There's nothing new under the sun is what I'm trying to tell you. There's nothing new. What is different is how weak people are in dealing with these things. Because let me be very, very clear. Your mama, your grandmama, all of them can tell you about that. People love to go around sanitizing their histories. That's not a good thing. Because Rihanna, if she was with him, that tells you about her. And what ends up happening is they end up telling people that the folk who are most like them or the people who can actually deal with them the most, you need to get away from them and go off with somebody who can't do anything. You need to be with somebody who can grow. You need to be with somebody who can mature. You need to be with somebody who can adapt. You need to be with somebody who can become a better person. That includes you, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever. That's what you're supposed to be looking for. Take a look at ASAP Rocky. Does this dude look like he's ever going to mature? Ever? And now you've made a lifetime connection to him. No, ma'am. Chris's problems could have been solved in counseling. And let me say one more thing. I don't like the idea of people characterizing young men as being irredeemable. Now, the females can do whatever. Casey Anthony, oh yes, I said it. Casey Anthony and all the rest of them, they can do whatever. You got females out here who they get with pimps and then kill the pimp and then go to court and say, oh, well, I had to shoot him. Oh, that's cool. Great. No problem. You chose that, but all right. So the men are irredeemable. Even if you don't know all the facts, they're irredeemable. And then you wonder why it is that men don't take these things seriously anymore. You wonder why that is. There's no way to take this seriously. When you're coming to the table with this amount of prejudice against them simply because they're men, there's no way. Because let me tell you, Chris's issues can be fixed in counseling. What Rihanna just did, there's no counseling in the world that can fix that. Chris can learn to adjust his attitude. He can learn to adjust that. There's no way in the world you can fix this. None.
Oh yeah, I don't see her being with him very long.
Okay, she's gonna be with him. No, wrong, lie. See this,
no?
Ma'am, this is female psychology at work today. I don't see her being with him at long. What are you talking about? She's gonna be with him for the rest of her damn life. They have a child together.
Oh, yeah.
See, as a female, you don't, this is why your man wanted you to talk to me. As a female, you don't think that way because your world is you-centric. It revolves around you. So as far as you're concerned, well, if I got a kid, the men should be honored to take care of me and my progeny because I'm so valuable. You don't see that as, damn, I'm lucky if I get anybody who wants to take this load on because these are responsibilities they didn't cause and mistakes they didn't make. You don't see your child as a burden. And you don't even think of it that way. You think that any man who gets, that it hasn't affected your value at all. I'm just as valuable today as I was when I was childless. There's no difference between the two. Never mind the fact that you have no time. You have no extra ability. You can't be spontaneous for anything. Never mind any of that. No, you're not thinking about the men. You're just thinking about yourself. For you, having the kid was part of your plan. Worked out great. As long as you can get some other guy to step in, okay, success, mission accomplished. But you're not thinking about the men at all. You're not thinking about that at all. You're just thinking about what serves you. And this is the situation we're talking about. So no wonder you would sit here and demonize Chris Brown like that. No wonder, because that serves the female psyche. But this doesn't serve men. So, no, ma'am, this is a bad thing. It's irredeemable. She's shackled to him for the rest of her life. Russell Wilson is sitting with Ciara right now. We all know that Ciara still got eyes for Future. When a woman has a baby with a man, that means something. That's not irrelevant. That means something. When a woman has a baby with a man, that means something. That means I want to keep him, the man. That means I want to keep him. That's not some minor gesture. You're talking about that like she can walk away from that. No, she can't. She is shackled to A$AP Rocky for the rest of her life now. That's it.
Yeah.
Any man who gets with her is going to have to deal with A$AP. Either deal with him directly or deal with the little reproduction of him running around the damn house in her
That's
or
true.
his high heel shoes. So no, ma'am, this is not a temporary situation that goes away. This is the new normal. If you get with Rihanna from here on in, you're going to have to deal with A$AP the way that Russell Wilson got to deal with Future. This is not an inviting situation for any man. For you as a female, having somebody swing into the rescue, oh, that's ideal. But you're not thinking about the men. You're thinking about what's best for you. Now, let me find out about your boyfriend. How old is he?
He's older.
Older's not a number.
He's how old are you? 55?
Okay.
50. Oh, he's 57.
He's 57. Are you in his house right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let me find out here. Do you have a job?
I do. I've
Okay.
always worked. Hmm.
That's
I
good.
actually have 2 jobs.
That's very good. You got 2 jobs. Do you ever want to quit?
It would be nice, but you know, it's not like I'm ever going to be rich. I have to
Okay.
get better with my savings.
Brother,
You know?
is your boyfriend black?
Yeah.
Are you-
and
are-
I'm not white.
Okay.
Hispanic.
You're Hispanic.
Yeah.
Okay, brother, stay up for the layup. That's all I can tell you. I never tell people to leave the person that they're with because I ain't gonna snuggle up with you. So if she leaves you, don't call me because I'm not gonna snuggle up with you. But what I am gonna tell you is, yeah, stay up for the layup. She's not thinking correctly. She's not thinking correctly at all. The things I just heard were all defeatist. You are in the same house with him, but you're not with him.
Mm-hmm.
So mentally and emotionally, you have not attached yourself to him. That's the problem.
I have, but
no, ma'am, I'm sitting
he
here
can do better
telling.
than me.
I'm sitting here telling you what you haven't done, and you're telling me yes, I have. I'm sitting here telling you, no, you haven't. The
Oh.
answers and responses you just gave me tell me you're in a relationship by yourself.
Yeah, you could say that, I guess.
Now let me find out here: are you Afro Latina or are you white Latina?
No, I'm not Afro. I guess I would gear towards white Latina.
All right. Well, I mean, if you're either Afro Latino or you're not. So if you're not that, then welcome to the designation here. What I am going to tell you is you sound like an otherwise nice person for customer service. As far as the relationship is concerned, that man wanted you to talk to me.
Yeah.
He wanted you to talk to me because he's heard some issues. And now I've heard what the issues are too.
Yeah.
She's not going to attach herself. I think right now, I think that I don't believe that you think that you can stick with this man. And I think that you believe that eventually you're going to get given your walking papers, which is why you said, I got 2 jobs and I'm going to keep them. You see, when a woman doesn't actually believe that she is going to make the necessary changes that she needs to keep a man to take care of her, then yeah, she got to work. Here's the problem. I did a program just last week about black women in particular having to work till they die. You yourself there, yeah, you might want to review that program for yourself. It doesn't work out so well. And you're in Los Angeles.
Oh.
How much do you make a year?
Yeah. Well, my main job, I make only $70,000,
Okay.
and my other job, it's just part time. I put in my 2 weeks notice like summertime, but they asked me to stay, and I kind of stayed to help them out.
Okay, how much does that pay?
But yeah, $70,000 is definitely poverty wages in Los Angeles.
Okay, I mean you have one full-time job making $70,000, a part-time job which pays so little that you don't want to say what it is. So
I make $23 hourly at the second job.
I mean, but how
But
much?
I only work 13 hours a week.
Okay, but how much in a year? I mean, you just
Dude, I don't know.
filed your tax. You just got your W-2, so you ought to know how much you've gotten. But you know what?
I didn't look at it.
I'm going to be generous, okay? I'm going to be generous. I'm going to go ahead and spot you $90,000, okay? I'm going to be generous. Let me go ahead. I'm just going to spot you $90,000 just for the sake of argument. $90,000. You're 37 years old, $90,000, a 16-year-old in Los Angeles, which, by the way, you can't even rent anything in Los Angeles if you make less than $18 an hour. Although since the pandemic, that's probably gone up since then.
It has. It has.
Let me find out here. How much do you have in your retirement savings?
Oh, none. And that's why my boyfriend tells me I need to
Take
stop
a
spending.
look.
I have a problem with spending
Take a look at your screen.
money. Looking at it.
That is the graphic I put up last week. That's a retirement calculator.
Yeah.
Now, you need 70 or 80,000 just to tread water in Los Angeles. As a single person. We're not talking about balling or affluent. 80,000 is working class in Los Angeles. Now, where I'm from in Louisiana, That's the higher end of working class. You're middle class, hell, probably upper middle class, actually. At the lower end of upper middle class. But in the other LA, Los Angeles, baby, you're working class. There's no balling. There's no anything. And what I'm saying is, at almost 40 years old, and this is good to know, I mean, this goes beyond black women, but at 40 years old, you have no savings. Do you have any actual savings, like in the bank? A checking account, savings account?
No.
Okay. So in other words,
nothing.
A typical American situation, you get it and you spend it.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you about the man you're with. How much does he make a year?
Oh, close to 80. But,
there's no but.
It's not like we share.
There's no but.
Okay.
Okay, you have a man who makes $80,000 a year. Does he have any children that he's taking care of?
Oh, yeah. He has an adult daughter.
No. I said children he's taking care of, because you got a kid who lives with you.
Oh, right now, no.
Okay, so in other words, his 80,000 unlike your 80,000, his 80,000 all stays with him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let me find out. Do the both of you have a car?
Yes.
What are you driving?
I drive, it's an older 2000, I think it's 2005. Yeah, it's a 2005 Hyundai Elantra.
Okay, 2005 Hyundai, and what does he drive?
He drives an old-ass BMW that I hate.
Not gonna ask.
Too personal.
I'm not gonna ask why you hate it, but I will tell you one thing. What are his savings like? Because I'm pretty sure he's got...
Oh, his are way better.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's 57. If he's a black male, he knows what I know. Now, he's older than I am, but he probably started hitting his stride when he was in his 30s, because he understands Los Angeles ain't going to give him nothing but a hard time. So, in his case, it's about stacking resources. And what he knows is that if you're undisciplined, what he's like is like, baby, he's doing you a favor. He's doing you a favor. If you lack discipline, you lack direction, you lack structure, and you got a kid, this man's doing you a favor.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that he's noticed some disciplinary problems, and I noticed them too. She wants to have the problem here, ma'am, no disrespect, but you want to have veto power. You want to have the ability to train wreck yourself and mess up your finances and screw things up and whatnot. You're going on 40 years old, and basically you will only be starting down the road to being able to retire.
Yeah.
You'll just be starting. What I'm saying is you're going to run out of time before you're going to run out of money before you run out of time. There's no pathway to get there. At $80,000 a year, there's no pathway to get there. You need, not you want a man, you need one. This isn't a want situation, you need one. Do you have any health conditions? Anything? Arthritis, high blood pressure, ligament issues, knee issues, back issues, migraines?
Oh, no.
Okay. If your what size do you wear?
Oh, I'm obese.
Define obese.
Because if you ask for my Instagram, you can see it.
Define obese.
When I was listening to your program, what you would call shaped like a freaking Cheerio, or no, you said something that made me crack up. It was shaped like a spaghettio. So I'm that obese.
I think I said shaped like an Applejack. I'm almost certain I said shaped like an Applejack.
No, I think it was a spaghettio one time. It cracked me up.
Well, you might be shaped like ragu, so that is possible. Yes, you might be.
Yeah.
All things remaining equal here, baby, you're 37 years old. What size do you wear?
24.
Excuse me. I don't think I heard that correctly.
24.
One more time. There's something wrong with my headphones. I could have sworn you said 24.
No, I'm a big-ass woman. I've tried for 10 years to lose weight, but I always gain it back. And like my boyfriend says, I'm just really emotional, and I am. You did the noise.
Okay. I gotta get a new pair of earphones. I've gotta get a new pair of earphones because these are messed up. I could swear you said 24 3 times, and I know that couldn't possibly be right. Driving a 2005 Hyundai Elantra, you look like a grizzly bear wrestling a donut when you get behind the steering wheel. There's no way this could be real. That car's leaning to the left. It's constantly out of alignment. There's no way that this can possibly be real. So I know the number can't really be 24. That number's gotta be. No, there's no way that number is 24. None. No way that number is 24.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to ask me for my Instagram, but you can definitely see my
Oh, no, ma'am. No. I gotta sleep tonight, so I don't need to see anything. I don't need to see anything too.
On my Instagram.
Yeah, babe, I gotta sleep tonight. No, I don't want to have visions of like Indiana Jones when that ball is rolling at him in the temple. No. I don't need that. So we'll bypass that one. You're probably the first person. You can see my Instagram. You're like, I'm cool. No, you can see my Instagram. I'm all right. No, I'm all right. I'll make it. I'll take your word for it. When you say 24.
Can you hear?
No, ma'am. I mean,
you gotta read.
Yeah, for most fashion designers, people can buy their clothes at Macy's. Like, you're getting yours made by Boeing. So, in this case here, I just want to be sure about this. First of all, and I'm going to try to be nice about this. I really, really am. I don't want to be disrespectful.
You're crazy.
I want to be nice about this. To the man you with, brother, you 57 and your money is straight. At least it's kind of straight. Bruh, your money ain't straight enough.
He's better than me.
He's in Los Angeles. He done gave up. He's not doing you a favor. He's doing you a straight up charity. Oh, he's doing you a straight up charity. He really is. He really is. Ma'am. If you don't handcuff him to the bed tonight, like, you can't even wait. Everybody else can wait. Not you. Ma'am, you would be, no offense, you'd be lucky if you had a Chris Brown to take to counseling. You should be grateful if you had one to take to counseling.
No.
Like Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan picking up Andre the Giant. No, ma'am. No.
No lie. That's what my brothers call me, Andre the Giant.
Okay, well, ma'am, no, it's more like Maria the Spud. No, this is not cool. No, this is not cool. This is not cool, bruh. 57, bro. Me and him need to talk. Me and him are gonna have to have a discussion. How did you end up here, brother?
No.
How did you end up in this situation? How did he end up under this situation? It's just I don't even understand it. So in your case, yeah, he wanted you to call because you're a disciplinary problem. If you don't lose some weight, you won't be a disciplinary problem or anything for very much longer. So I'm going to recommend you get very serious about that, because size 24, that's not a laughing matter. Yeah. I mean, you're giggling and stuff. It's like, that's really not a laughing matter. That's a serious, deadly health condition. And she's 30, she's 37. I got COVID,
it scared the shit out of me. So that's why I'm talking to my doctors now, because I know if I continue on this path, I will die.
37 years old. 37 with a kid and no savings. No anything.
Yeah.
I want y'all to think about that for a few moments. She's 37. No retirement savings whatsoever. Ma'am, there's a reason why I was saying this, and I'm not going to harp on this too much. There's a reason why I was saying this. You have this is how irrational what you're saying is, okay? You're acting like you have a bunch of options that you don't actually have. Now, this
No, I don't.
No, okay,
I have
stop.
no
Okay,
options.
do me a favor. Do me a favor. Just stop talking for a minute, okay? Stop talking.
Okay.
Grab a sponge and soak up the game, okay?
Okay.
Let me say this to you straight up and to every female listening to me right now tonight. You're acting, because most females in America are overweight. In your case, you're not obese. You are galactic. This is not good. What I'm saying is that the way you started this phone call about Chris, ma'am, let me be very, very clear. You are at risk for literally every morbidity there is.
Yeah.
And listen to the way in which you're speaking. You're speaking like you have a bunch of options that you don't actually have. Now, it is one thing to say, it's one thing to speak like you got a bunch of options because you got them. It's another thing to speak like you got a bunch of options and you don't have them. Right now, in a situation like this, baby, I'm deadly serious what I'm about to say here. If you fell down in your house, could you get yourself back up?
Right now I can, but, next year I might not be able to.
Okay. So what I'm saying here is these are options you don't have while you're taking shots at Chris Brown.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not only Chris Brown. To
Slow
be
down.
honest, I don't
Slow
know
down.
much about.
Slow down. Brake pedal. I'm not done. I'm making a point here, okay? I'm making a point.
Okay.
You started off this phone call taking a number of shots at Chris Brown, okay? You need a man who's going to stick with you. Rihanna needs a man who's going to stick with her. And you don't get to choose the caliber, choose who are the people who are willing to do so. You get to choose the person, but you don't get to choose who actually has it in them to want to deal with your issues. In your case, a lot of your issues are rather obvious to anybody looking at you. In Rihanna's case, they're more hidden. In the average female's case, they're more hidden. And men are getting judged based on that. And what I'm saying is, ma'am, if you fall down in that house next year, you're going to be lucky if you got a Chris Brown to pick you up, much less call 911 if necessary. I mean, because like I say, at your age and whatnot, very soon your knees are going to give out because they're going to have to. You're going to have assistance, so you're going to be having canes or a walker, one or the other, and you won't even be 50 years old. You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky to have a Chris Brown. You'll be lucky to have a Drake. You'll be lucky to have a Dre. You'll be lucky to have somebody who's going to be there with their flaws and their shortcomings. And I'm not saying it needs to be the WWE every night. I didn't say that. You'll be lucky if he takes you to therapy and you take him to therapy. That was how your grandparents and your parents taught you to work your relationships out. Yeah, he can take you to physical therapy and you can take him to emotional therapy and the two of y'all can get better. Yeah, you're damn right. Now that's being sensible. That's being sensible. But if neither of you is going to change, if he's determined to be out of control and you're determined to be out of control, like I say, just remember that's a personal issue. But when you say things like that, just understand you're making character judgments of people. And there's a place in this world for character judgments. Of course there is. Absolutely. But you're talking like you have a bunch of options you don't have. And this is common with females today. Ma'am, what you're talking are suicidal options. Suicidal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he told me too.
And I just wanted you to know, from the very beginning of this phone call, it was very clear in that regard. That's a suicidal thing. I certainly don't want to get that far along, but this needs to be taken seriously. So the attitude about that is important. What you really need is to be able to take a year off so you can get some of this under control is what you need. But I am going to tell you one thing. The man that you are with, ma'am, that is the last. I don't even know if the train is smoking, I do know it's the last train. I don't even know if the engine is running, but I do know that man you're with, that's the last train, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
There ain't nobody except the Barnum and Bailey people who are going to be looking to call you when you get over 40, and by then you'll be size 30. But ma'am, there's nobody looking to call you. There's nobody going to be checking for a 39-year-old chick with size 22, size 20. Even if you lose weight, size 20, nobody's going to be checking for that. So the man you're with, he probably wanted you to speak to me so you can hear it from somebody else. I just wanted to put the numbers in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
Ma'am, that man you're with is the best you can do. I suggest you hold the hell on to him. Whatever you got to do.
Well, I can do better.
Well, okay, all I'm going to tell you is you hit a treadmill, but that is the best. That man is the best you could do. That is the best you could do. A size 24 Latino with a 16-year-old, you should be grateful if Chris Brown stumbles his way to the door. Hey, let me sing.
I don't know.
Whoa, slow down. Slow down. You don't like toxic relationships?
Yeah, I grew up like...
You don't like toxic relationships? Ma'am.
Fight with each other. It's just...
Ma'am.
Yeah?
Your diet is toxic.
That's true.
Your diet is radioactive.
But I don't like people
ma'am.
each other like...
Ma'am, slow down. You're talking like, this is what I mean. You're talking like you're so super sensitive and you're just this wallflower. Ma'am, you're a size 24. There's nothing sensitive or fragile about you. And that's you by yourself. That isn't a man who did this.
Oh, no.
You have a toxic relationship with Bluebell ice cream. You worry about Chris Brown. You've got a toxic relationship with Whataburger. And you're by yourself. What I'm saying is, do you even hear this? Do you even hear this?
No, I do. I mean, I listen to you a lot, and you've had a lot of great shows that made me think. I'm like, damn.
Ma'am, if the people at Golden Corral saw you coming, they would barricade the doors. That's just how bad this is. I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm not trying to make a joke, man. What I'm saying is that this is what I mean about this is dysphoria. Mental dysphoria. Understand something.
Yeah.
You're talking about the men, and you're not even looking at yourself. You're just totally unaware. Totally unaware. No self-awareness whatsoever. Even when people show you what you're doing, you're like, yeah, but when I do this, okay. And what I'm saying is, no, it's not okay. Not okay for Chris.
No,
what I'm saying is it's not okay for Chris, not okay for you. Everybody's got some work they need to do. Everybody's got some work, and considering the fact that Chris seems to have kept himself out of that type of trouble since then, Chris has kept himself out of that kind of trouble. How about you? Let me ask you, I'm going to hit you right between the eyes with this one. I'm not going to duck or dodge this. How much did you weigh when Chris and Rihanna got into it that night? I know you wasn't no size 6, so don't try that.
No, I've never been a size 6. I think I was more like a size 12. It was right before my mom passed away.
Okay. You were a size 12, which means you're probably closer to a size 14.
It was, probably 12 or 14. That was when I was at my smallest weight. That's when...
And that was small.
I was at my smallest weight.
Yeah, everybody, size 14 was small. Okay, I want you to understand something.
Oh, well, I'm not
Chris,
saying it's small. I'm just saying that's the smallest I've ever been.
Okay, my point is, by the way, his situation's gotten better. How about yours?
Oh, no, it's gotten worse.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, before you try to denigrate him, oh, yes, people, I'm going to tread all over this. Before you try to denigrate him, by the way, he put work in to at least address something. Now he wants to pick up a damn drug habit. But in your case there, what I'm saying is, by the way, everybody needs to do some work. Chris, we can see Chris has done something.
Oh. I haven't kept up with him.
Okay, that's not my point. My point is I'm taking what you said at face value. And at face value, there's work everybody can do. But from what I heard on this phone, it doesn't seem to me like you feel like you have that much work to do.
Oh, God, no, I do. It's just I don't have the discipline.
Okay. Discipline comes from a person feeling that they're in trouble and need to do something. Do you feel you need to do anything?
Yeah, every night, every day. That's part of my anxiety.
Well, I suggest you take it a little more seriously, is what I can tell you. And I hope that everybody starts acknowledging that as people, if you go on and you grow, hopefully you become a better person. And just like that man that you are with is giving you the opportunity to do so, we should never be so arrogant as to not give other people the opportunity to do so. So I think that really reinforces here that guy you're with right now, he is the best you can do. I recommend you hold on to him for dear life.
I hope so. I will. I mean, I'm trying, but it's he could, like I said, he could find someone better.
Okay. Well, I never tell people to break up with anybody, so I'm not going to do that at all. But what I will say is that he had you call me because he heard some problems. I would recommend that you do something to address that.
Yeah.
So you're talking at size 24 like you can take care of yourself. I got 2 jobs and I just need to keep working. When a woman does not want to give in and let a man take over that for her, what she's saying is, yeah, I need a backup plan for the day that I'm not here with you anymore. So you're not giving a man the ability to make any long-term plans with you. Once a woman makes it very clear that she ain't with you, then the man's going to start planning in another direction. And what you told me tonight, as soon as you said that, I'm like, okay, here we go. Man, we're too old for this. We don't need to have 3 hours of conversation. Once you say 1 or 2 sentences, like, okay, because only a certain type of person says something like that. Only a certain type of woman says something like that. And you said it. And he's got warning bells going off for him, and they should be. So, first order of business, if he really was what you were focused on, you'd be focused on getting yourself in shape so that you represent him well, and dropping the idea that you're going to, quote, do this on your own.
Oh, I can't do it on my own. That's why I need intervention. So that's what I'm working with my doctors with.
All right. Well, in the meantime, that man you're with, you need to stick with him. And some of the disciplinary problems you are exhibiting, when that man explains it to you, I'm telling you, I suggest you listen. Because in a couple of years, who's going to help you do anything? Your 16-year-old's going to be 18.
Nobody.
Your 16-year-old's going to be 18. Hopefully you have made her obese too. She's not going to be trying to come back there and take care of you. Okay, he's not going to be trying to come back there and take care of you.
Skinny, but I'm doing it for him as well because he wants me skinny by the time he graduates.
Okay,
so.
well, he's not going to want to be taking care of you, ma'am. He needs to go out and go take care of his own life.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't need to be sitting there taking care of his mom.
Oh, yeah, I don't want him to.
Okay, well.
Oh, no.
Act like it. You got work to do. I'd like to hear back from you.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear back from you in a year.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious. I'd like to hear back from you in a year.
All right. I will call back in a year only if I've done what you told me to do.
You should call back in a year regardless.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yes, it's called accountability.
Yeah.
I'll speak to you then.
All right. Bye.
Ain't this a hell of a thing, boy? I'm telling you that they can talk about the men and all the men's deficiencies and what the men's problems are, and there's just totally no awareness whatsoever. None. She talking like she's better. Okay. Call from area code 410. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Nisi from Columbia, Maryland.
Misa from
Baltimore
Columbia, what's on your mind?
Well, two things. I do think that, well, three things. I do think that Rihanna and Chris Brown should have definitely, if they were to continue a relationship, both gotten therapy. I think Rihanna also had a childhood with a abusive parent or something like that, just like Chris Brown. So I think they both should have got therapy. Second thing is, for the previous caller, I look at a lady, a YouTuber who used to binge eat. I'm not overweight, but she also does cosplay, and I like cosplay, so that's why I originally watched her. But she might give you some inspiration. And third, you told me to call back in 6 days.
Okay, well, yeah, you did go ahead and do that. So thank you for sticking on top of that. You know, we have a little bit more to do here. By the way, for those of you who don't know, she talked to me here last week. She went ahead and got some of that was going on Instagram. She's rectified a lot of that. So it's a welcome change, by the way. It is you look sensible now. That's a welcome change. So still got a little bit more to go here. I know you're getting used to upkeeping your own stuff there, but you got a little bit more to go. Eventually, we're gonna get one of the fellas to take a look at you here. So, fellas, she's in her mid-20s. She's in her mid-20s. She is coachable. She's actually doing what she's supposed to be doing. So, she might be a candidate. We will see. She might be a candidate. I'll talk to her long enough. We'll see what happens. If she demonstrates that she's coachable and stuff, who knows? There might be a six-figure man in your future.
Oh, yay. I hope so.
All right. You got more work to do now. You know, we already discussed about the other stuff now. I need to see the rest of it.
Okay.
I need to see the rest of it. All right. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Now, yes, she checked back in with us. Yes, I get results. If you check back in, I will get results with you. So, yeah, I talked to her last week. She's been working on it. Let me get caller from area code 224. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is James from Chicago.
James from Chicago. What's on your mind?
I agree with everything that you stated about Rihanna on your show today, but I just have a question. Why didn't you mention about her most recent boyfriend, the Arab billionaire?
I don't keep up with it like that, sir. So I'm not really a celebrity gossip head. So the short answer is, it doesn't really matter to me that much. I will tell you one thing. Where's he now?
Well, they broke up, but she was with him for 3 years, and I agree with you. Though, but,
with him for 3 years. Now, who does she have the baby with?
With ASAP, you're right.
Yeah, the Arab dude took her from the age of, I guess, about 29 to 33, laying on top of her, and all she could get was laid on top of. But he wasn't willing to extend any sort of permanent commitment whatsoever.
You're right, because she's not wife material. And
Right.
I'm guessing that she probably realized that she wasn't wife material. That's all I got. Thanks a lot. Bye.
After 3 years, that's your report card. 3 years of this dude laying on top of you, that's it. That is it. In the chat room, I have somebody in there who I want to go ahead and give us a call here. So I think that would be important. I would like to hear what you have to say about that. So go ahead and give us a call here. Let me get caller from area code 443. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Craig from Baltimore.
Craig from Baltimore. What's on your mind?
Three things. One, so you were talking about singers and women throwing jaws on the stage. My mom used to be a big Teddy Pendergrass fan.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, that's another story.
Teddy Pendergrass, Lionel Richie when he left the Commodores, Curtis Mayfield. We can go down, Barry White, even his big ass. We can go down the list. But yeah, brother, way before R. Kelly, way before
The
any
Isley
of
brothers.
that. I don't even talk about the Isleys, but way before any of that. Yeah, the grandmama's been out here doing this. So I'm saying, brother, there's nothing new under the sun. Folks just act like this is a scandal. They act like this stuff is tremendous. Ike and Tina, we can go down the damn list. There's nothing new under the sun. There isn't. Everybody just wants to see if they can use stuff to their advantage.
Yeah, but another point was when they were talking about Kim Kardashian with White Pookie. One thing that you're not supposed to do as a black, well, first of all, you're not supposed to be taking kids to Build-A-Bear and then you go up to the top of the mall and go to build a Negro. That's a no-no. But even worse is you're not supposed to be building white boys because white boys come from an intact patriarchy. So they, by default, them being white, they're supposed to already have their stuff together no matter what.
Well, you raise a very good point, though. By the way, did everybody know this? When Jennifer Lopez broke up with P. Diddy, where did she go? And by the way, with Kim, what did I predict was going to happen? Breaks up with Kanye, where's the first place she goes? Yikes.
Yep. And then as far as the issue of getting the best you can do, since it's the Winter Olympics, one of the worst tragedies that could ever happen, the 1987 Winter Olympics, the ultimate figure skating feud. It was Katarina Witt from East Germany versus sister Debbie Thomas from the United States. Debbie Thomas was a good skater, but she just had a problem. She would always slip when she would jump in the air, and that's how she got to ultimately become a bronze medalist winner. She did some commercials for Campbell's. Her plan was to go out and become a doctor, and today she's living in a bummed out trailer with a Pookie, white Pookie. She look hot. There's a video of her. I've been trying to find this video. I was surprised with the research you do. You haven't found a video on her, but look it up. Debbie Thomas, 1987 bronze Olympic sister. It was like
I know who Debbie Thomas was. I remember Debbie Thomas, and I mean she was talented. She kind of slipped a few times though. She was talented. She was very good looking. Although we're decades later now. And the bottom line is you better grab a producer while you can. And if you can't, if there's any life raft out there, the real thing is women don't want to bring themselves to do that because they don't want to bring themselves to have to admit, I'll be damned, this is the best I can do. This life raft over here is the best I can do. And eventually you're going to have to admit that your dream producer, you screwed that off. Whatever the case or whatever the issue was, you screwed that off. You screwed that off.
But if you remember when you discussed a while back about the end of marriage, one thing you discussed about in that, and also as far as women were concerned, was that women have separated giving up their sexuality way ahead, getting body counts before being married. And a lot of young women have not been taught of being chosen to help perpetuate legacy. And if you notice, in our society, we can have legacies, but we don't value it. And then we look at a lot of TV shows that perpetuate legacy, and it just doesn't register in our head.
Well, certainly it'll register now because Rihanna, what happens when a female is defeated, she goes off and she tries to pick a victim. What Rihanna did was what unfortunately has become common in the female culture today. They go off and look for a victim. If they can't have a producer that they can abuse, if there isn't a producer available to be abused, exploited, run over, then they go off and go look for some beta male hoe victim that they can get over on. And congratulations, you got over on ASAP. If you want to call that a win. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 773. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, hello. My name is Rosa. I'm calling from Atlanta by way of Chicago.
Okay, did you say your name was Rosa?
Yes.
All right, Rosa, and what's on your mind?
Sorry if I'm a little shy. This is my first time calling your show. I agree with everything that you said about Rihanna. It is sad and unfortunate, and Yeah, I can say personally, I've learned a lot from your show just in the past, I want to say, year. The first show I heard from you was about the women in college debt. I never went to college. Unlike a lot of women you interview on this show, I'm like the complete opposite.
Okay,
it probably would be a refresher to your ears.
Let me find out here. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, you're 27. Do you have any children?
No.
Okay, and you said you're in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. Just for clarity though, what part of Atlanta?
Tucker area. So not exactly Atlanta, but Tucker.
Okay, I'm about to say, don't worry, we're not going to drive up to your house. It's just geographically. I mean, if you're in Buckhead, if you say something really off the wall, but you in Buckhead, that matters. Okay, so it's one thing if you in Buckhead, it's another thing if you in Decatur, talking about what you got to have. So it just depends on what you say. Let me find out here though. What was it you wanted to ask me?
Well, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of things I could ask you, really. I didn't really have anything specific in mind. And pardon me if I called in and said something I wasn't supposed to or didn't stay on the topic. I just wanted to call in and agree with you on this specific topic and kind of just tell you how much I've learned from you since I started listening to you. A lot of things that I had never heard.
I'm very glad to hear that. Now, in the interest of time, however, in the chat room, were you the username under the name It's Brittany?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why is it that you've taken us around yin yang in China and whatnot and haven't said the reason why you were told to call in? Because, by the way, I want everybody to understand. Okay, yes, ma'am, you were. You saw when you were told to call in too. So let's not do that. That's not cool. They always play dumb when we tell them to call in. Remember, folks, if my mods tell you to call, okay, Brittany, stop for a moment. If my mods tell you to call in, remember that's me telling you to call. So just because I haven't posted in the chat room, if my mods tell you to call in, whether you see me posting in the chat or not, understand that's me telling you to call. Now, you were told to call in for a specific reason. Now, why don't you go ahead and just stand by it? Let's just cut past the denial. Go ahead and stand by it. What was it that you said that prompted me to tell you have to call in?
Well, so when I saw the mods telling people, they named several usernames to call in, and I saw all that, but my username wasn't one of them. So, I haven't been following the chat.
In the interest of saving time, because the program's dragging on here, ma'am, when I asked who are the ladies in here who ASAP Rocky is the ideal man that they would want to be seen walking through the mall with, you put up. I said put up a thumbs up, and you put up a thumbs up. Yeah, look at her now. Oh, that. Oh, yeah, that.
Yes. Okay, Jason.
All right, there you go.
Okay, Jason. There you go. Yeah, I did that. I did that as an attention seeker. Yeah, I'll be honest. I know you're going to put me on blast for it. It's okay. I did that as an attention seeker. I knew, of course I don't agree with that. He's not anything. My own mom said that.
Really?
No, that's a huge downgrade for her.
Really?
I was just being funny. That's all. Sorry.
Something strange going on there.
You can go ahead and ask me all the rundown questions you ask every other woman.
Oh, good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I just sent you a text. I just sent you a text message.
Okay.
Just go ahead and send me your Instagram information.
I'm not on Instagram. But I can send you up.
Not good. Send me your Facebook.
Well, why is that?
Be not good, ma'am. Everybody has a social media. Let's not do that.
Yeah, I have Facebook.
Good. That's why I said good. You can send me your Facebook.
Okay.
Don't be scared. It's just you, me, and a few thousand of my closest friends.
You're not gonna like post it online, are you?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a screenshot. Hold on.
No, I'm not gonna post it online. But you need to send me a link to it there. Just sending the name isn't really gonna help me. By the way, that name in particular, you know how many people got that name? So.
Okay, all right. Here's the link.
Great.
You're not going to see much, Jason, except my profile picture. I'm a pretty private person. I'm not really big on social media.
That's all.
That's my profile.
That is perfectly all right. There was a reason why. You said you're a pretty private person, and yet she's in the chat room angling for attention. Why?
No, well, it's under a different name. It's not under my real name, obviously. I mean, because I just wanted to, I was just being funny, that's all. Just being funny. I didn't mean anything by it.
Okay, because usually that means something. When you're trying to get attention, that
like, what does it
usually, well, that usually means something is missing.
Well, I mean, I was hoping by me doing that you would ask me to probably call in so I could talk to you, yeah.
Well,
but, I mean, it was a innocent type of approach. Not to be undermining or anything.
I don't know. I got real questions about it, Rosa. My spider sense is tingling right now.
Ask away.
I hear something behind you.
What do you hear?
I hear voices.
Oh, the TV's up. I'll turn it down.
Do you live by yourself?
Okay. I'm actually babysitting right now, but yes, I do live alone.
Babysitting? Not your
and he's a 13-year-old boy, and he's playing his video game.
How do you babysit a 13-year-old? Okay. How do we babysit?
Easy money.
Okay, how do we babysit a 13-year-old? Okay. Rosa, I've got some things on my mind. My spider sense is going crazy right now. It really, really is. For some reason,
okay,
and I'm sure you're going to debate this, but for some reason I got the feeling you live with your parents.
No, I actually don't. I've had my own place since I was 18 or 19.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a little bit of time there, okay, Rosa? I got a real question about that. I might give you the number for the lady from Los Angeles there, the size 24. You know, it looks like you work out and stuff, so just in case you wanted to help her around the park, that might be I might send her your way.
Wait. Why? I guess I take that as a compliment?
Yeah, because I want to make sure you stay busy. She's looking for trouble to get into, so I want to make sure she stays busy. So, just in case she gets bored again.
What did you have to ask me, Jason? I'm ready for your questions.
Oh no, that was all. If you weren't going to explain about ASAP Rocky, that was the only thing in particular. If I want to take it further, I will let you know.
Oh, it's disappointing.
Shouldn't be. I'll keep my other thoughts to myself. Caller from area code 904, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Jason Black? This is Carl from Jacksonville, Florida.
Carl from Jacksonville, what's on your mind?
Man, nothing much, but ASAP Rocky, man, he didn't do so bad. He actually had a come up. I can't speak on Rihanna or whatnot, but for ASAP, with his age, his demographic, his fans, his fan base, he's doing pretty good for himself. So, he's been talking about, investing way before everybody thought they were investors. When the 2020 hit, and we had the little recorrection in the stock market and everything like that. So he's been talking about investing and black investing and young folks investing in millennials way back since 2017, 2018. He takes most of his money and he invests it, and he needs to, because it's not like he has any, number one hits or anything like that. So in order for him to get that $10 million, he's been investing in tech from way back when.
Yeah,
so, he's not doing so bad.
I mean, well, he's not doing bad compared to the guy who works at Five Guys. No, he's not doing bad at all. However, compared to where Rihanna was, this is undeniably a huge step down. Socially, financially, intellectually, globally. This is just a huge step down. I mean, you literally went from some guys who at least had something resembling some swag, even if it was faux swag, to a fellow who's carrying around a handbag over the shoulder with a little pink rose on it. I mean, how the mighty have fallen. It doesn't get any lower than this, brother. It doesn't get any lower than this. I mean, you and I have had some exes. We like, oh, she out here bad now. But did you ever think you would see something like this? Like, okay, well, is the guy a bum? Is he unemployed? Well, no. Well, then what's the problem? Let me show you. Here, take a picture. Here's the problem. And all of a sudden, the light bulb goes on. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller Mary code 267. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, good evening. Deacon Black, this is Tammy. I'm calling from Williamsport. Yay, how are you?
All right, Timmy, what's on your mind?
Okay, yes. I like the fact that you brought up that females are more violent than men. I actually had this discussion with a few of my female friends, and I have a story that's somewhat related to that with my parents, actually. It's funny because my mom was mad at my dad about something, and she thought that she took his phone. They got in a fight, called the police on him, and this the same woman who she's a big liberal and she's against police, but she called the police several times on my father, and she's the one who provoked the fight. So you're very right about that, and that's something that I've been noticing, and but nobody really makes big noise about that, and I think we should actually bring that up even more because I know so many of my friends who had tragic life stories, but it was mostly done by single mothers. So you're very right about that.
Well, like I say, I definitely want to put those things in context, and I certainly don't want anybody being anywhere where they're in danger or anything like that. But the idea that these are just sweet, innocent, poly purebreds, that's the problem. So just understand, birds of a feather will flock together. And you're right, it's something that does need to be talked about because we have an unrealistic idea that they're just these rampaging monsters out here. And in truth, folk know what they're doing. And it's really about who can get to the police and who can call the media first. It's really about who can do that. It's like, okay, whoever can frame the narrative first, quote unquote, wins. And if you don't get a chance to do it, you just kind of get hung out to dry. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 301. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Jason? Tyrone out of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Tyrone, what's on your mind?
So yeah, downgrade, major L for Rihanna. But could this be just as big of an L for ASAP? I mean, if they break up.
No, it's not as big of an L for him as it is for her. And the reason for that is because, take a look at it here. This is a guy who was trotting around with a man purse. What does he have to lose? Just understand when you're dealing with somebody he's just a goofball. Go back and take a look at my video, The Woman's Wasteland. You all need to go back and review my video, The Woman's Wasteland, where I was talking about the three kind of guys that the females, when you run out of time, there's the three kind of guys that's it, you're looking for is Idris Elba, or you're going to try to get a little moist Nas X, or you're going to end it with a little bummy homeless dude. ASAP is kind of a fusion of the Nas X bummy homeless dude archetype. He's really like that. So, but if I had to take a look at the pictures on your screen right now, it's like, he leaning more towards Nas X in that regard. But the bottom line is, what does he have to lose? What does he have to lose? He's just floating his way through life. He doesn't have a legacy. When he was on the Breakfast Club, remember he told them his contribution to the world was, I'm handsome. Which, by the way, all right. But in any case, that was it. I'm handsome. I'm handsome. I'm cute. I'm handsome. That's why Dior wants to talk to me. I'm handsome. I'm handsome. I'm cute. Look what Dior did to him, or at least what he did to show Dior, y'all need to be with me. Take a look at what he did. Take a look at what he did.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Rihanna, I mean, what I'm telling you that's what happens when a female is looking for a man she can shove around. They go looking, and if they really do give up on themselves, it's like if the fellas won't let her push them around, if they're not going to let her run them, if they're not going to let her abuse them, she's going to go look for somebody she can't abuse. And let me be very, very clear. You can take a look at the body language in the pictures. Go take a look at the pictures of her walking around with ASAP and whatnot. That was Ciara and Russell. Practically all those pictures are her with her arm in between her and ASAP. Her arm is in between them. She's pushing off, got her back turned. We can go down the list. Pushing off, back is turned.
Yeah.
She looks like she's out with her little brother more than she's out with, quote unquote, her man. She looks like she's out with her damn little brother. So just understand, her body language is giving her away. Her body, half the picture she's by herself, you know. She's letting you know, I don't fool with this nigga for real. His job, he had a job to do. Since none of the men I wanted were going to do it, the men I actually wanted to be with, the ones who actually could give me a future, they wasn't going to do it. What kind of future is she going to have with ASAP? Sitting around telling herself whatever. Right. What kind of future is she going to have? How does he elevate her status? No, she's not happy with this. There's no way this can last because you can see from the body language and everything else, she's not happy. She's not thrilled. She's not ecstatic. She's not sitting. When a woman is happy to be with the man who got her pregnant, she's going to be clinging on to him. She's carrying his genetics, literally carrying his genes inside of her. She's going to be all over dude. And she wants dude all over her. That's because now she needs security right now more than ever. She needs emotional assurance right now more than ever. And Rihanna doesn't look like she's looking to him to be assuring of anything, securing of anything. None of that or anything. His job is to drop off the genetic material. Okay, old cornball nigga, I got it from here. So, for anybody holding out hope that they're going to make it down the aisle, even if such an unlikely thing ever did occur, there's no way it can last. By the way, she's already talking about she wants more kids. She's already said that she wants more children, even if she's not married. She's already said that. So there's no incentive on her part to marry this guy, and there's no incentive for him to marry her now. What is he going to get marrying her that he doesn't already have access to now? Where's the improvement for him that he can't get now? I mean, I guess alimony. I guess that.
Yeah.
But other than that, what more can he get from her that he hasn't already gotten? I mean, you're already going to have to deal with this damn Caribbean headache for the rest of your damn life now. And by the way, when things go bad and she starts talking bad about him, like she does everybody, by the way, there's a pattern of behavior. When things go bad and she starts talking bad about him and starts putting his name out there bad and whatnot, like she did everybody else, what are they going to say then? I guess they're going to say it's his fault. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, well, pretty much, you know, like, I don't expect them to stay together. But, you know, as you say, if that's the best she can do and they break up and she realizes that the best she can do doesn't even want to, you know, then now what?
Well, when you can't get what you want, brother, I did the program tonight about understanding that he's the best you can do. You might be disappointed. You might be sorry. You might be like, oh, damn. Okay, but this is what happens when you play the field too damn long. This is what happens when you play the field too damn long. This is what happens when you tell yourself you're much more valuable than you actually are. I had a size 24 on the phone here, as you heard, talking down about me. I mean, think about that for a few moments. It's like, baby, 24? It's like, okay, your requirements should be a pulse and something resembling a check coming from somewhere. That's it. As a matter of fact, no, just the check. You don't even need the pulse. And literally telling you what she doesn't want. So think that over for a little while.
Right.
Think that over for a little while.
Yes,
They don't
sir.
even it's hard to inform them because they don't even recognize when they're with the best they can do. They believe they've got unlimited options. Despite what she was saying, she really does believe she's got way more options than she does. She really does. And she's like, okay, and even if I don't, my insurance policy is I got a job for myself. Baby, you are one wrong misstep away from your knee going out. She comes down the stairs anywhere in America the wrong way. There goes the ankle. There goes the knee. Because remember, your skin gets bigger. Your bones are the same size. So if she's a typical if she's a typical Latina around 5'4", if she's a typical Latina, imagine that 5'4", 5'6", and hauling around. Boy, in her case, this has got to be close to 300 pounds on that little old frame. On that little old frame. Think about that for a few moments. On that little old frame, and she's been carrying around for a decade. Brother, I mean, her ligaments and every damn thing else, her ACL and everything. She's like an NFL athlete with the injuries. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Now, let me get a call from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Liz calling from San Francisco.
Liz from San Francisco. Well, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah.
Now,
no.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking. Let me be quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jason.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I just wanted to start off by apologizing to you. I know that I called in a few months back and you were giving me really good advice about a gentleman. I was moving too quickly. You told me to do my research before, thinking or before moving forward and just getting overly excited. And I thought about my response and I wanted to apologize.
Well, that is very big of you, Liz. I wondered what had become of you.
Yeah.
And how are you and Mr. Man getting along?
Well, we actually ended up not continuing to stay in contact. I did realize like you mentioned, to ask more into his financials, to figure out how long he had this business established. And upon further research, he actually turned out to not be who he said he was.
That sounds frighteningly familiar to something I think you were told previously. Although I will just assume at the time you were not ready to hear it.
Correct. Yeah.
And the reason for that, Liz, is because just like Linda and some others here, I want you all to understand in your case here, you otherwise have so many things going for you, but you don't understand that men don't get to keep their heads attached to their shoulders, especially as black men, but men don't get to keep their heads attached to their shoulders by being silly. And one of the things they can look for is a woman doesn't recognize when she's giving off every nonverbal cue that there is that she's desperate. And when men can see that you're desperate, when they can see that there's something that you want and you're willing to overlook warning signs that it's not actually there, then what they do is they become whatever it is they know that you're looking for. Because every man knows what the real list is. We all know what the real list is. And what you run the danger of is inspiring a man to become a chameleon to show you whatever it is he thinks you want to see. And we all know how to play the role. And when they see that that's what you want, they'll do just enough to do that. They'll lay on top of you for a while. but it's kind of like a Ponzi scheme. When you're ready to cash out, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And so, like I say, in his case, the only thing I was asking you to do was do your due diligence. That's all. Because you could have been calling me back and telling me, Jason, you was wrong. He balling, he tycooning. And it's just like, oh, hell. Well, that wouldn't work. But I still wouldn't have felt bad about that, because even if you were my own daughter, I would tell you the same thing. Just do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Don't show him you're in a rush. It's like you can be with him while you're doing your due diligence. Make sure that when you take a step forward, that you don't have to take one backwards. And just due diligence is all that. You assume that there's a certain type of man that you have a right to. And we've talked about that before, and you got your ambitions. And I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But you also make it very clear when you first talk to men, Liz, that you feel that you have a right to a certain type of man. That you have a right. And once you start expressing that energy, even if you don't use that phrase, we can all see it. And once you do that, all you've really told a certain segment of men is, oh, well, all I got to do is just tell her that I'm that. And put on a few things that show that I could be that. And she'll be eating out the palm of my hand. And you don't like to think of it as desperation. But in reality, the best way I can characterize it is that's desperate. Because what you're showing is that you're trying to take shortcuts. Only desperate people look for shortcuts. People who know they can win the race don't look for shortcuts. They run the whole race because they know they can win. People who look for shortcuts try to cut through the woods and run into a lion or quicksand or something. And I just wanted you to avoid that. That's all. Nobody was trying to take your fun. Nobody was trying to spoil things for you. Nobody was looking down on you and, oh, you can't win or this, that, and the other. You can win, Liz, but you're going to have to start exercising some patience to actually get to where you need to be at. And I know it's frustrating. I know it makes you want to tear your hair out sometimes. I know it looks absolutely helpless sometimes. I know it. I know. But when a woman starts getting desperate, she just starts throwing her legs around people. And that's the worst thing you can do. Because how long were you talking to that guy?
We only talked for about 4 months. Around, I think when I contacted you, it was around the 2-month range. And then I started to really think hard about our conversation and start to really poke and ask him questions. And then I start to realize that things just were not lining up with his business, things he was saying, his financials. He just had no tangibles or nothing could back up what he was saying. So I said, this is definitely a fraud.
Now, was this gentleman black?
No, that's another thing. The guy was Hispanic.
The moral of this story is social media opened up a whole bunch of global options to females. That's true, but it also opened up a bunch of global options to males. And everybody knows the story with every other group out there. And there's a certain segment of black females who tend to date non-black men, and there's a bunch of non-black men out there that are like, oh, she's one of those. So just like black men are hip to the game, a lot of these non-black dudes are hip to the game too. And the only thing I try to do is make sure whatever you do, I handle things a little bit differently here than I do on the black channel, but I try to make sure whatever you do here, at least you do your due diligence. That's all. That was the only thing I was trying to do, was get you to do your due diligence. Because I can see, everybody around you can see, you're just way too eager. And if we could get you to pull back and slow down, as opposed to this idea that you're overdue for this big payoff you're supposed to get, if we could get you to slow down and pull back a little bit and take it a little slower, that would help. Because like I say, in this case here, just think about this. Now, all this time you've been talking to him, have you been talking to anybody else?
After him and I stopped talking, I
No. During the time that you were talking to him, were you talking to anybody else?
No.
Okay. So in other words, while he was hogging the real estate all that time, you were probably denying advances or communications from other people, or dodging it, or just not making yourself available for it while you were doing that.
Yes.
So once again, that's the definition of lost time. And the only thing I was trying to do was make sure you did your due diligence to avoid lost time. How old are we now, Liz?
I just turned 31.
It would be a lie to say that you're out of time. The only thing I will say is I hope you've learned something. We're not out to get you.
Yep.
Black men are trying to keep me from living my best life. You're just mad because I've got access to non-black men or whatever. Y'all just hating.
It's not that. It's not that. It really isn't. As tough as that can be sometimes, that's narcissism talking. It's not that. If you're going to go out there and go do that, I mean, it's not going to, like I say, if that's what you want to do, go do your thing. But if you don't want to look silly about it, maybe, just maybe, we see something that you don't see. So, how are things going now?
Well, I've decided to simply focus only on black men. I've been thinking too, this whole divestment and opening options. I don't know, done some soul searching, and I just don't think dating men who are not black makes no sense for me, and it's kind of not what I want. So I'm talking to 2 black men and just kind of seeing what happens with that.
Well, what I will tell you is that's probably not destined to work out any better. And I'll explain to you why. For the same reason that there was a problem before. Liz, there's a level of contempt that you have where black men are concerned. And you will never get anybody to make you their prime choice if you're not going to make them yours. And if black men are your last resort, if everything else fails, that's a mentality being brought with you. And what females tell themselves is, well, don't worry, I can fake it and play the role. But if you don't genuinely have respect for black men and the reverence for black men that they deserve, just understand it won't work out. We didn't survive this long by being oblivious to people harboring resentment towards us or harboring contempt. We didn't survive this long because of that. So what I am going to tell you is that has been a long-standing issue. You and I have talked about that before. And if black men are your last choice, just remember, they're going to see that, and then you become their last resort. So that's the part that needs to be resolved, is you're going to have to develop a genuine respect and adoration for black men. Genuine, not fake, not contrived, not I need to do something here, because you won't be able to keep it up. You won't be able to stay fake. You're not going to make it through a 5-year relationship being phony. Not at the age you're at. You're going into your 30s now. All the phoniness doesn't work anymore. Everybody sees it coming from a mile away. All the men you're dealing with are going to be too experienced to fall for it. The guys in your 20s would have fallen for it. The guys in your 30s, baby, they're too old. And you'll be talking to guys in their 30s and this point 40s. You can't pull anything over on the guys in their 40s. They have the most resources, but you can't fool them. So if what you're bringing ain't real, they're going to sniff it from a mile away, and they're going to play the role. I mean, you got a nice build for it. Baby, they're going to play the role, but it's going to be more lost time. So before you do anything else, I don't know 100% what got you into this. I don't know 100% how you ended up here. I do know that you lack genuine respect and adoration for black men. That Latina called up here earlier, and I hear myself echoing a little bit, but You know what? I'll discuss this. I'll discuss this off the phone. I'm going to say what I have to say next off the phone. But was there anything else you wanted to tell us?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Jason. And again, I apologize for my attitude and the way that I responded to your critiques a few months back. I apologize. I was wrong, and I thank you so much for your advice.
Well, I want to tell you that that's a very large thing of you that you did, and that you just did, and that takes a lot of courage. If anybody wants to find a black female who can admit she was wrong, well, like it or not, Liz is one, and she could admit that she was wrong. And I know what a lot of folk would otherwise be thinking, well, this is the time for me to run a victory lap or whatever. I have no ego to inflate or offend. I don't want to see any of you losing. I don't want to see that at all. I started these forums because I wanted you to have information I wish I could have had when I was your age. I don't want to see you lose. I don't want to wag a finger at you. I don't want to sit up here and, well, see, I told you so. If you would just listen to me there. Okay, get that out of your system. I want to see you win. I want to see you have a good life. I want to see things be better than you ever thought possible. And I think that the character that you just displayed, that's going to be critical and key to doing that. So I think you have done a very big thing. I think that's a very huge thing you just did as a young black woman. You put your pride to the side and you trusted that if you did this, you wouldn't have me sitting here wagging my finger and trying to make it a humiliating thing for you. And I hope that I've done that.
Yes.
No, I hope that
Thank you, Jason.
I hope you walk away feeling that I have your genuine interests at heart. So definitely you are welcome to call me back anytime. You will get the next time you call me back, if you do, you will get the same brutally honest, objective analysis that you have always received. But it will always be in your best interests. Always. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me tell you something. A fool demands a pleasant lie. A wise person braces themselves for a brutal reality. Being told what you want to hear is the most dangerous thing you can possibly do. It is the most dangerous thing you can possibly do. And I want us to learn something from that phone call and the earlier one there with the woman out of Los Angeles. I want us to learn something from that. I want you to learn something in particular that I think is an obstacle. And I want to deal with this. And I know tonight's a controversial program. I want to deal with the fact that people grow. Giving up on people isn't always the right thing. As a matter of fact, I think half the time it is, at least half the time, it's the wrong thing to do. People grow. People develop. People change. Hopefully. Hopefully they become better adults as they go on. Hopefully they get given the chance to do so. You shouldn't be the same person at 30 that you were at 20, and you shouldn't be the same person at 40 that you were at 30. I've been saying that for weeks now. We need to give people the opportunity to do that. So I've demonstrated through my actions tonight, not my words. I demonstrated through my actions tonight. Because for those of you who remember, you all remember that program. Now folks are going to be going back to the archives now listening. Well, if it's still available on YouTube, I don't know. Some of my hardheads out there, some of my fanatics, if y'all can go find the last time that Liz called in, it's been so long, I don't remember what the program was, but I got a bunch of y'all who listen to my programs over and over again, so I know that you probably know exactly which program it was. But for those of you, it might be on YouTube, then again, it might be on Patreon, I'm not sure. But if you all are able to find which one it was, go ahead and let us know so we can go ahead and compare those things, because I want you to understand, and there was no guarantee that I was ever going to hear back from her again. But take a look at how that was handled. Take a look at how that was handled. Because I came at this from the idea that, when the young lady called in from Los Angeles saying what she was saying about Chris and whatnot, what I'm saying is that sometimes people make poor choices. Sometimes they make poor decisions. Sometimes they're in a poor place in life. But then again, so are you. So are you. And I'm trying to show you all what leadership really looks like. Leadership does difficult things. It doesn't do something because it's easy. It does it because it's hard. Leadership doesn't tell you what you want to hear. It tells you what you need to know. And as adults, it is the height of immaturity for adults to sit around and say, people cannot grow or develop, that people can't find new ideas. Now, understand, I'm as cynical as anybody you're ever going to find. I am as cynical as anyone you're ever going to find. But I also believe in redemption for a person who wants it. I also believe in redemption if that person wants it. I don't believe that everybody is hopeless. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. Which is why I had to check the young lady, the young Latina from Los Angeles who called in to say that. I know this can be a difficult conversation to have. I know it can be a difficult conversation to have. Rihanna's for those of you who don't understand, you're just going to have to trust me about people's personalities. And what I'm telling you is that Rihanna had a hell of a whole lot more in common with Chris. She had a hell of a whole lot more in common with him. That was the last time that she was vibrant. That was the last time that she had that. And if they had an actual adult in the room, because they didn't have it, but if they actually had an adult in the room who could sit them to the hell down, because other groups of people do that. Remember I was talking about the general manager of the San Francisco Giants. He drug his damn wife on video. The president general manager of the damn, one of the executives of the San Francisco Giants on video. Drug her ass. Okay. And nobody was sitting up here saying he wasn't allowed to redeem himself from that. Meanwhile, you got other folk here promoting that kind of thing. That's why I'm saying, no, I don't sign off on that. And anybody who thought that I was out of bounds, take a look at that phone call with Liz. I very easily could have told her, yeah, you know what? Well, you think you know it all, and this is what you get for knowing it all, and you 31, and you a swirler, and you this, that, and the other, and to hell with you, and you and Zaddy can go live it up, and that's what you get. Yeah, I could have done that too. Yeah, I could have did that too. I guess I should stick with proper grammar, but yeah, that could have happened also. That could have happened too. I want to see more adults in the room is what I want. I want to see more adults in the room. I want to see more of us acting like adults and not acting like children. I want to see more of us acting like the people in charge and not the people who should be held by the hand by the people who are in charge. That's what I want. I want us to understand that people sometimes do make mistakes. I want us to be adult enough to understand that that's life, man. That's life. That is life. People do make mistakes. Sometimes you will be allowed to redeem yourself. Then again, there are other times that some of the mistakes you make, they're permanent, and you will not be able to walk it backwards. Sometimes that won't be possible. But where it is possible, I don't want any of us denying the opportunity if it can be done. I don't want anyone doing that. Under the right circumstances, Chris Brown could have been the best thing that ever happened to Rihanna. Under the right circumstances. He could have been rebuilt, rehabilitated. He could have been the best thing possible. Was he ever given the chance to do it? Drake, same thing. I can go down the list. But by denying Chris that opportunity, I want you all to understand, all the folk, Oprah Winfrey, by the way, Oprah Winfrey, you great big brown bloated whale, While you're sitting up here talking all this crap to Rihanna, your old ass is sitting there with Stedman Graham, who he might as well be sitting there on the damn purse aisle buying a new handbag along with ASAP Rocky. That woman, you ain't never been happy with Stedman. You've been with Stedman since I was a child, and you're just as lonely and miserable today as you were then, while you're telling other women what they don't need. And what they don't need to have. People, you all have listened to me for well over a decade. I have never, ever told anybody to leave the relationship that they're in. The closest I ever came was Tony and Tina. I simply kept telling him, you can do better. But I don't tell people divorce somebody, leave your relationship, break up. I don't do that. I don't do that because that doesn't give you the opportunity to grow. Now, don't stay with somebody who's chasing you around the house with a damn butcher knife. Don't do that. Well, Jason, she only cut me 3 or 4 times. Ooh, y'all might want to live in separate houses. But I don't go around doing that. And so you've got old ass women. And by the way, Oprah Winfrey has a gang of dogs. She got a gang of dogs. She got Stedman. Does she look happy to you all? Oh yeah, by the way, she's saying she wants to go on a diet again. Oprah said she wants to go on a diet again. A new diet, by the way. She wants another diet now. She wants another diet now. That's what the hell she wants. She's 68. 68. Her best friend Gail is 67. What the hell you losing the weight for? Who you gonna pull? What you gonna get? You got Stedman. He's happy with your big jiggly ass. No, she's telling herself that she can still get out here and do something. 68. And all she really wound up doing was telling Rihanna what Rihanna don't need. Rihanna needed something. Because understand something. Oprah told Rihanna what she don't need. Where's Oprah at now? Where's she at now? Say what you want to about Breezy. He didn't get her pregnant. Where's Oprah at now? Where is she? Where are all the people who had all this fountainhead of knowledge and wisdom and gas baggery to sit up here and say, where are they at now? Now that she's out here and the best choice she could make was ASAP. Now, does anybody, let me ask y'all a damn question. Is there anybody who thinks that any amount of counseling, because counseling can help Chris Brown, is there any amount of counseling that can help this? I want to know. Is there any amount of counseling that can fix what you're looking at on your screen right there? Any amount? Anywhere? Tell me, who do you call for this? While you've got all these old ass women telling her what she doesn't need and what she doesn't need to do and who she doesn't need to be with. Back in the old days, the old folk used to tell you, keep folk out your damn relationships. Well, if you want to know why they told you that, this is why. This is why the old folk used to say, keep folks out your house. Tell them stay out your business. Whatever it is you think going on over there, stay out of their business. Because you don't really know what's happening. And you'll step in thinking that your answers are the answers. And then next thing you know, you've created this. Caller from area code 601. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Brazil calling from Dallas.
Okay. Who calling from Dallas?
This is Brazil calling from Dallas.
Wow, Brazil calling from Dallas. All right, that's not confusing at all. All right, Brazil in Dallas. What's on your mind?
Nothing. I just wanted to call to just tell you that how grateful I am to appreciate your program. I have learned so much, especially when it comes down to just honoring like manhood and just being able to be vulnerable and being able to accept growth. So I just wanted to just call to just give you your flowers.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. How old are you?
I'm 27.
I got a lot of young women who listen to my program, too, those of you who are in your 20s. And I hope that you're listening to these things and whatnot. I know a lot of you don't grow up with fathers or whatever. Not that I'm trying to be a father, but definitely I think you would benefit most from having the counsel of a man who isn't trying to sleep with you and doesn't have any designs on you other than to talk to you and to have your best interest at heart. I think that's really something that's missing. And, you know, it used to be a lot easier to find that. But more than anything else, I hope it gives you the real. Because life is messy, Brazil. Life is messy. Anybody who says this idea that you all are going to be raised in an environment where it's just going to be sanitized, and man, that's not real. Life is messy. It's messy. It's difficult to figure out. It's convoluted. You know, it's not clean and dry and sanitized. Not at all. And hopefully somebody giving you the real can help you to navigate that environment a bit better. So, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Brazil. Please do give me a call again. Let me get caller from area code 332. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sean Johnson, Harlem, New York.
All right, Sean John in Harlem. What's on your mind?
Johnson, sir. They wanted me to call in.
Okay, I was being a bit facetious with the Sean John, sir. Clearly you're not familiar with the clothing line. But anyway, what did you need to tell me?
They told me I have to call in or I'm banned.
Okay. Then.
I said you weren't getting ASAP Rocky the same energy.
I wasn't giving him the same energy about what?
That you was giving the fat Mexican girl in LA. About giving a chance and stuff like that.
Okay, sir, I just asked a question, but clearly, if you weren't listening during the previous calls here, I'll try this here again, Mr. Johnson. Take a look at your screen right now. Well, okay, in a couple of seconds, you'll see that change to Rocky, ASAP Rocky, and his very stylish purses. So let me ask you a question. How do we quote fix that?
His purse?
No. The personality that wishes to wear the purse.
Okay, the personality. He's controlled. He had to take the purse picture or the dress picture.
Okay, so but the bottom line. Okay, the bottom line is he is globe-trotting with various female accessories. So the energy that I'm giving is, what do I do with that?
I don't have an answer.
Do you know how old ASAP Rocky is?
33.
Okay. How old are
60
you?
seconds.
And how old are you, Mr. Johnson?
38.
Okay. We're both older than he is. So that energy you're talking about, tell me what type of energy you expect me to dedicate to a 33-year-old man. He is a all the way grown ass man running around trying to make purses stylish. What exactly are you expecting me to do with him at 33? He's not 13. He's not even 23. He's 33. What exactly do you expect me to do with a 33-year-old with a handbag? I'm sorry, with a handbag collection. What are you expecting me to do with that?
10 seconds.
I do not agree with that at all.
You don't agree with what?
But you already know that with those handbags or whatever that he's rocking.
Right, but I'm talking about me. Okay, but I'm talking about me. You said, why am I not giving him the same energy? I'm asking you, what are you expecting me to do with him? Okay, I'm taking your point to heart. All right, what do you expect me to do with a 33-year-old man with handbags? What type of energy are you expecting me to give that?
For getting Rihanna.
Big
him up for getting Rihanna.
Okay, he didn't get Rihanna. Rihanna got him. I said that already. I said that before.
His game. Her loss. His game.
Okay, but here's the problem. Is this a good, healthy relationship that will benefit society in general? Or is this yet another messed up situation that's going to produce more deviants and more whacked out individuals?
I see number 2.
Okay, then how can I big up that?
You're right.
Do you see with the chick from Los Angeles who called in? Did you notice what? Did you notice what I didn't say? Well, slow down. Did you notice that the chick who called in from Los Angeles? I didn't say that her and the 57-year-old need to get married. Now, did I?
No, you didn't.
I didn't say they need to have children. Did I?
No.
I simply told her he's the best you can do. I suggest you hold on to him. I didn't try to big up the situation. I didn't do any of that. I gave it this. I think I'm trying to paint the picture of you now. You kind of mischaracterized that. I gave them the same energy. I sure did. I met them where they are. She's a size 24. I have absolutely no assumption that I'm making that she's going to come out of the double digits anytime in the near future. Maybe not in the far-flung future. Who knows? In a galaxy far away. I hope she does for her own personal health. But I'm not sitting here like, okay, well, don't worry, she's going to get it down. I just told her this is what she needs to do. But then again, she has a bunch of doctors telling her the exact same thing. I gave her the same energy. I did the exact same thing. I don't expect anything from A$AP Rocky except what he is. And understand, in a relationship, that would be wrong to do otherwise. She got pregnant by this man, who and what he is now. And I've said this on many programs before, if you listen to me for any length of time. How dare you sit up here and tell a man, I'll have your baby or I'll get married to you. And then as soon as you do that and whatnot, you tell him, okay, now you have to change. I don't like the way you are. Wait a minute, but the way I am was good enough to get married. It was good enough to get a baby. It was good enough to carry my genetic legacy. How are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me that I'm messed up now when it was good enough to get you pregnant? It was good enough for that.
She obviously liked cats from Harlem. He's the second in Harlem, dude.
Okay, well, dude, let me tell you something. This is not what you want representing Harlem. Because, by the way, I got dudes in Harlem. Shout out to my brother, Sam Alarape. That's my brother. Shout out to him, his cousins, everybody else up there. Those are my brothers. Those are my brothers. So this nigga don't represent Harlem. Let me be very, very clear. To a fella here, I've been on 125th many a day. This don't represent Harlem, brother. You don't see no black men running around with a Dooney and Burke hanging off their backs. So let's not, don't put that on Harlem, bro. Don't even do that. I'm from Louisiana telling you, you in New York, I'm from Louisiana, don't misrepresent. Don't misrepresent. This is not Harlem. This is not Harlem on this screen at all. This is some immigrant mess going on here. This is some immigrant influence. Sir, okay, but the bottom line is I'm not ever going to defend that. I'm not ever going to defend that. There's nothing there to big up. There's nothing there to encourage. There's nothing there to do anything with that. There's nothing there that we need to hold on to or replicate. Nothing at all. Nothing. This is exactly what we do not want. We don't want this happening at all. This is the disease that plagues black society right here. Or this is one of the major diseases. There's nothing here I want to preserve. Certainly nothing I want to protect. Nothing. Not at all. And that's the energy we need to give it. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. No, I meant what I said. He's rocking his Tory Burch. This Negro be sitting up here rocking his Tory Burch. Sashaying around. Yeah, I'm handsome. I'm handsome. Y'all thought Lil Nas X was bad. Okay, A$AP been on it. Caller from area code 773. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Wake up, dude. You're on.
Oh, my bad, bro. Shit, this is the first
Take
time
your
I've ever
phone
called.
off the
Actually,
speaker.
yeah, actually, this is the first time I've called the show. I basically just chimed on, the conversation or whatever. So from what I'm understanding, you're not really feeling the whole Rihanna ASAP Rocky thing. Am I correct?
Okay, sir, what's your question?
That was my question.
Okay, no.
Like I say, I came on kind of late.
Okay, no,
so
I'm not.
Trying to figure out.
All right, you have a good evening. Yeah, some people know what's going on. Some people wonder what's going on. Some people have no idea what the hell's going on. So you all figure out which category he falls into there. Yeah. Well, folks, like I say, it's not any better for your celebrity friends than it is for anybody else. It is not better. And the real thing I want is what we had with Liz. And I want to thank Liz for calling in tonight because that really was indicative of exactly what I wanted to get to here. Recognizing when he's the best you can do. And I want to end on this note tonight. I want to thank Liz for calling in because we got there's a lot of black women out there who don't realize the black man you're with, that's the best you can do. And I'm not even discussing income level. I'm not even discussing socioeconomic status, social status. What Liz found out, probably earlier than a lot of females, is that Dr. John Henry Clark was right. That black man sitting next to you is your best chance. And the sooner that you accept that reality, the sooner that you recognize that whatever I'm going to do, I better work it out with him. I got to work it out with him. This idea that you'll just keep wandering, just understand that's a formula for a wasted life. Get off the playing field. Leave the casino. Cash in your winnings. Go home. Find a way. Make a way. Go home. Or you can stick around out here. You can stick around out here and completely do yourself in, destroy yourself. You can do that too. I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. Thank you all for joining us tonight as well. Everybody who contributed on CashApp or PayPal and Super Chat as well. Thank you very much for that. It's been another great program. I'm going to be joining you all here again soon. This concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.